But I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
Which is the first commandment of all?
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might, and with all thy strength. This is the first and great commandment, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
Master, thou hast said the truth. There is one God, and none other but He. And to love Him with all the heart, and with all the understanding, and with all the soul, and with all the strength, and to love his neighbor as himself, is more than all the whole burnt offerings and sacrifices.
Thou art not far from the kingdom of God.
Hello. I'm there live, talking to no one.
Is there no one there?
Nah, no one yet. No one yet that I can see. It says one watching, so that'll be me. Hello, me, you. It's just, but the thing, what do I expect? I go on the same time as Nathan, you know what I mean? So there's not often, and it's just after the weekend as well. A lot of people don't that, do you know what I mean? So I'll give it a few minutes, see if people come. I mean, a few people end up coming in. I dare say. Yeah. We'll see.
Alright.
Let me just put out a thing saying I'm live now. Actually, first of all, because this is not part of the program, there's two now, so it's probably just me and you. I think I just seen Dell go live not long ago, but because I said I would do it anyway, Flats did a video yesterday to and it's a challenge for anybody. Anybody follows Dell on their Upward Rising Earth nonsense. But I just seen Dell live now, and it said something about flat side in the title. So I dare say he's responding to it. But I'm going to play it anyway because I said I would. You know what I mean? So I might as well play that while there's no one here. Because people can watch what they are. So I'll play it anyway because I said I would. But I do think he's responding to it as I speak, Flats, right now. You know what I mean? He was live just before I went live anyway. So he was live while I went live. So he'd already started. So let me just get it up anyway. It's only about 3 minutes long, and I'll just play it. Right, this is the Del Card Cult Challenge. Right. So, Del, don't get too excited. It's not just for you, wee man. It's not just for you, wee man. It's for the rest of your sheepses as well. Anyway, here it is.
I want you to be honest with everybody, your audience, everybody. I want you to type 1 or type 2 in here, or make a video, or go on anybody's live and actually answer this question. Is it an unbalanced force which causes the movement, which would be a number 1? Or is it your claim of an acceleration is what causes the movement, number 2? It's up to you, Del.
The forces on the tennis balls are equal. They are not moving. When the tennis balls are struck by an unbalanced force, it causes them to move.
Do you understand that, Del? So what causes the acceleration, guys? Type 1 in chat if it's an unbalanced force that causes the acceleration, that causes the movement, or is it 2?
Just so everybody knows, mine would have been a 1.
In chat, acceleration causes the movement before we carry on. Dylan Heron says 1. He says unbalanced forces. Okay, that's good.
Absolutely.
Who else? Let's see. There we go. Another 1. Del, come on, you give a go. Is it going to be 1 or 2? Kevin says 1 as well. Lemon, are you going to do a 1 or 2? How about you, Mr. Del? Del, force is something in motion. You see, guys, this is my issue. Look at this. This is his reply to type 1 if it's unbalanced force causing the motion, or type 2 if it is acceleration causing it. This is what I get. Force is something in motion, derp. So insulting as well. He is intentionally ignorant, Dylan.
What's with the derp anyway, Dell and all that? It's all. Why is everybody using derp? It's especially here in UK. Derp is definitely a US thing. It's a United States word. Derp.
Yeah, but I say a-hole now.
That's probably because I don't like you swearing. That's one reason. But I get it. But I mean, yeah, I suppose it's because we're on the internet. But derp. I mean, I try and stay away from the word because it's just not what I say. But I've heard Dell saying it. Derps. I'm like, come on, Dell, you're from Scotland, man. We're Barms or Pannies or Egypts. You know what I mean? We're not derps, man. It's from Scotland. But anyway, let's get on it.
Exactly. He is being very chill-like, Cole. I agree, because it's simply one or two. So Dell has yet to type in one if it's an unbalanced force that causes the movement according to physics, Newton's first law of motion, or two, moving causes moving as he claims it to be. You see, he's not going to answer this because he knows if he types two, he'll be shown
It's pushing because it isn't pulling.
to be an outright idiot and ignoring physics. If he types one, he will be making my point, and therefore his argument is muted. Share this far and wide to every person that agrees with Dal on this. And yes, this is everybody. Chiquita and QNF and Jake the Asshole and this whole Daltardian cult group that seems to want to just insult everybody because they don't agree with these guys, which literally are ignoring physics. So this is a challenge to everyone that supports this Daltardian cult. You come and tell me, or anybody, is it an unbalanced force which causes the acceleration? Or is it acceleration which causes the acceleration? Is it moving because it's moving? Or is it because the force is unbalanced? I leave it up to you.
Is it moving because it's moving? Or is it pulling because it's pushing? Or what? Unbalanced. Unbalanced. That's all I would say. Anyway, I did it. But like I say, Flats, I think he's doing it as I speak at this minute anyway. Sort of thing. He certainly was live. And it certainly had your name in the title. So I think he's doing it. So, but there's nobody here. I've gone and said I'm live and thingy. There's nobody here yet. There's no point in putting on a video at the minute if nobody's got to be watching it. And it's the one that people wanted to see as well. But I dare say everybody's in, especially it being Monday as well. I dare say everybody's in Nathan's.
Or Dell's.
More likely, yeah, both, but more likely Nathan's. Would be more in Nathan's than Dell's. But there will be people at Dell's. I wouldn't say many of our guys from Dell's that would come here. Roger said he's spunky this morning. Does he know what spunk means in the UK?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell him live as well, just in case he's awake, because he put that in at 8:23, even though it said 2 o'clock in it by that time.
Aye.
I mean, I will go live in the morning again. It's just when I was up this morning for this one, but I just thought about it because of the nature of what's in it, and because of the last video, I thought, oh, maybe it is better for the afternoon anyway, rather than 8 in the morning. So that's why I did it. It's not because I wasn't up this time. It was just because of the nature of what you might say. And again, before it starts anyway, I'm going to disclaim that anything that he talks about within his testimony, I do not agree with or don't condone. I dare say the guy talking about it doesn't condone or agree with it anymore. It's part of his past. It's for educational and spiritual purposes, because it's a testimony. And as well as educational, spiritual as well as educational. So yeah, we don't condone anything he might any of the stories might come up with in his there's 3 watching, so somebody else turned up. In any of his testimony. So I haven't started yet. I will wait another couple of minutes to see if anybody else will come in. I've already played Flats' video, which I think was kind of redundant because I think Dell was already responding to it as I went live. So I shall wait and see how it's for watching. See, it does take a few minutes before some people start coming in. It's for watching. Nobody in live chat yet, though.
I was.
Yeah, it's the second half of Zachary. What's his name? Zachary King. Zachary King's his name. He was a high wizard, and he was a high wizard. I think he would have called himself. Yeah, remember the Illuminati? And he's been kind of graphic with his explanations of things in his testimony. So yeah, hence the disclaimer. But yeah, nobody in chat yet. There is 4 watching. I'll give it another couple of minutes before I start playing the video. And it is Monday. It's all slow on a Monday.
Mondays and blues.
Yeah, so I mean, even if I'd gone on 8 this morning, I dare say that. Mind you, there would have been more of the guys from America there. Here, like Roger and that, maybe. You know, but because of the nature of what he says, you know, like it was better for the afternoon. I totally forgot because I did set it for the morning. It's not because I wasn't up. It's just the nature of what some of the stuff he says. I thought in 8 o'clock in the morning, you don't want to be hearing about PDF files, Ilias, you know what I mean? That type of thing.
Yeah, no.
And essays and all that. You don't want to be talking about that just before breakfast. But yeah, for watching. I've put a community post out. I keep like forget how slow it is on a Monday sometimes as well. I mean yesterday afternoon, that was Sunday now. I mean I had like 20 people in the afternoon and I was like quite shocked. 20 people Sunday afternoon. But anyway, alright. What time is it now? Right, yeah, it's 12 minutes past. No, sorry. It's been 12 minutes. It's 70 minutes past. It's been 12 minutes I've been on. I'll give it 15 minutes for me being on. So give it another 3 minutes and then I'll just start playing the video. I dare say people are 6 watching now. So yeah. I dare say more will come in whilst the testimony is being played. It's like I say, it's the second part of Zachary King's testimony. The high wizard. The high priest. Sorry, he was a wizard. High priest of the Illuminati or whatever you want to call it, you know. Esther Glenn, good to see you. How you doing? All good, all good. You're just playing the second part of a testimony from a high wizard. It was part of the exposed the Illuminati. He was in the Illuminati. He was in a coven and all that from a young age. It's the second part of his testimony. He's already become a high priest, high wizard, sorry, whatever. So confusing the terminology they use for their hierarchy. He's already at that point, but it's still an hour and a half. It's still a video that's an hour and a half long, or an hour and 20 minutes long, or something. So it's 10 minutes shorter than the first video. So it's the second part of the story, anyway. Anyway, all right, sound. You're here.
Hi, Esther.
Good. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. There's a few other people here as well. They're just not in chat. But I'm giving it 2 more minutes, and then I'm just going to play the video anyway, and we'll watch the testimony. And I dare say I won't be doing much talking because it's an hour and a half long, or an hour and 20 long. But I mean, I'll put my opinions in here and there. I mean, we have already seen the first part of this guy's testimony, and there has been people been looking forward to the second part. I dare say they don't see now, they'll watch it later. Yeah, that's absolutely unraveling the threads of someone's story. That's it. It's good listening to other people's stories. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did what I said. I put out Flax's little video there, but like I said, Flax, I think he was already responding to it as I was speaking. Dell was definitely alive over the imaginary curve. That's his name. Imaginary curve, over the imaginary curve. And it had Flaxoid in the title, so I dare say he was responding to the challenge. But I did say to him, it's not just for him. It's for his sheep as well. The people are following. Right, 6 watching, 15 minutes in. Let's get this video on the road. You see how long it is? Yeah, an hour and 23.
Only one high wizard.
So just to bring people up to date. I mean, I dare say the guy will anyway, whose video it is. The guy who's doing the Almost False, it's called. The guy that does the interviewing. Like yourself, man. Like yourself, man. Good to see you, guy Jay. Good to see you.
Hi, Dylan.
Always a pleasure, sir. Always a pleasure, man. So this is the second part. Like I say, we've already seen the first part where he become a high wizard. He got one of his teachers at school essayed him in the toilets at 11. He enjoyed it, like, but it's still essay. He was 11-year-old. By 12-year-old, he was in a coven, like doing little prayers, doing this little chanting in the where he seen a burnt face and all that appeared to him. So he started reading up in magic and stuff like that. Got offered into a coven. Didn't know it was a coven to begin with. Didn't know they were Satanists. Then someone called him a Satanist one day because he was with them. And he said, "Oh, wasn't that funny?" and all that, to the leader and all that. They call him a Satanist. And he said, "Well, we are." And he didn't even know. Joking. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. So, yes, this is the second part of that. Let me get rid of the banner. And, yeah, that's it. I will shift us if you need to see anything written here, but in general, it's just the subtitles, and most of you that come to me understand English, that's for sure. So I dare say I won't have to move much. Let's get on with it anyway, and I'll put in my little penny's worth here now. You okay, babe?
Yeah.
Oh, good. All right, let's do it.
In the whole world, out of 7 billion people. After you're in there a certain number of years, you have to go to Monument Grove. You have to party with rock stars. You have to travel.
Oh yeah, he was just about to do his first ceremony as a high wizard in Bohemian Grove. That's where we left off. Yeah.
This isn't fun anymore. You realize that if you leave, there's 3 ways to leave. You can die of natural causes, you can be murdered, or you can commit suicide. Now that I'm a high wizard, I know the devil's real, and I'm pretty certain that hell is a real place. And I am not ready to go.
Hello and welcome back to the Almost False podcast.
This is a guy whose channel is, don't know his name, but the channel's name is Almost False. He doesn't do too much talking. He basically does the best thing. Lets the guy talk. Does his own talking. Yeah, Zachary King. I dare say you would have heard of him. Somebody would have heard of him. A few people have heard his testimonies through another source or whatever. I'd heard of his story a little bit, but I didn't know much about it. I certainly heard a little bit of it. I didn't know it at the time until I started hearing his story. Then I realised who it was, sort of thing. But yeah. So this is like say the second part. This guy whose channel is, like I say, he doesn't say too much. He lets him do the best thing and lets him get on with it. But now and again, he'll put in a little question, but he just lets him answer. On that, so you don't see him too much.
Baby.
Right, interview regular people.
Yes.
If I'm quiet and I don't answer, it's because I keep roboting.
All right. No problem with it.
Incredible stories. This video is part 2 of Zachary King's story. For those of you who don't know, he sold his soul to the devil at the age of 13, and at 21 he became a satanic high wizard and was one of the 10 most powerful Satanists in the world. Today we talked about his adult years, his involvement with the Illuminati, and about how he eventually was able to escape all of that alive. If you haven't seen part 1, I recommend that you go watch it first, but if you just want to watch this one, strap in for the ride, because this story is definitely not for the faint-hearted. Can't say that I didn't warn you.
Yeah, babe.
Yeah.
Chilling says, I was no 100 on your views. Finished watching it this morning. Barbara cracks me up. Yeah, she can be funny.
Yeah. Aye.
Absolutely. It's good. She's got a few different beliefs in what I believe in with Jesus.
Yeah.
That's for sure. She's certainly got a few different beliefs. But yeah, she's a decent woman. She's
I like
cool.
her.
She's funny as well. But yeah, we've definitely got a difference in our Christianity. That's for sure.
Aye.
But she's cool. She's cool.
So you were part of the World Church of Satan, which at the time was the biggest church, biggest satanic church in the world. And what was your role exactly in there?
I was the High Wizard. So for the first 3 years, I was trying to be the High Wizard. And I would get in with the groups that did abortions, which you had to get in with a High Wizard. And I would let the High Wizard know, I want to do your job. And they would just smile or just laugh, because they knew that I'm seeing it on the outside of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when you see a rock star and you see him being chased by girls and driving a Lamborghini, you're not seeing it from his perspective.
Right.
He's not having all the fun you think he's having.
Mm-hmm.
You're just seeing it from the outside, think, I want that job. He's doing the official magic for the coven. He's getting to drive a Lamborghini. He's got the world in his palm. That's not how he sees it, but I didn't know how he saw it. When I first joined, I got to do magic. I got to go to Bohemian Grove. I got to work with the Illuminati. I got to travel the world. I got to have fun. I got to party with rock stars. After you're in there a certain number of years.
Oh, babe.
Yeah.
No, so what he's saying is he was Chilean was you're 100th viewer. So you reached 100 on it anyway. So that's good. That's really
I know
good.
it is good. I've got 70 subs now.
Her and Barbara is a Saturday team up. It's a good team up. It is a good team up. Definitely.
Aye.
I do think the name should be changed this time. Your next time around. Yeah, I think you should change the name, don't you?
Probably, maybe.
Because it's been the same name twice, and I don't think. I mean, I know it's a play on words, but still, I mean, that's my thoughts on that. I think you should change the title for the next week.
Aye.
Even if it's the same title but with conversation. You know what I mean? Instead of there she is. Talk of the non-devil, and she appears.
Aye. I am awake to watch it.
Talk of the non-devil, and she appears. I'm awake to watch. Wow, excellent, cool. I didn't think you'd be here, to be honest, Barbara, because I thought maybe I was up this morning to do it, but then I thought of the contents of it again, and I thought, well, it's morning where I'm at. The guys are watching it. It's not a morning watch really. I should do it in the afternoon. So it's not because I wasn't up. So I changed it to this afternoon. But if we get through this one today, I mean, which I will do, because I'm going to let it play really more than talk this time.
Yeah, babe. Chilling said, "Can I choose the title?" Do you know what, Chilling? As you were my first ever moderator, because he was the first person to comment on my channel, and I made him a mod straight away. He was the first one. As you were the first mod, yeah, you can choose the title.
There you go. You're good to choose the title for next Saturday's Vicky's and Barbara's stream. There you go. Sorted.
Barbara said I have a knack of showing up when I'm least expected. I tell you though, sometimes it's needed.
No, it's funny though, because I was just talking about her as she appeared.
Aye. So
well, a little bit before, a couple of minutes ago as well. But then as she appeared. There you go. I definitely let you choose children. There you go.
Aye.
So sorted. You choose the title and get back to them on it, or back to me. I'll let them know whatever. You know what I mean? I'm sure you'll see one of them on stream somewhere.
My first mod, I think as my first mod, he earned that
absolutely.
Right.
And first mod and 100th viewer on that one. So
yeah, but like last show he was there, and he's always here. Do you know what I mean?
No, you pick.
No, Chilling, you can't back out.
No, you can't back out now, dude. You've got to pick it. You've got to pick it.
Yeah, it's on your head, be it. And when people are offended, I'm going to say, tell my first mod.
That's my phone. I guarantee if I answer it, there's nobody on it. 2 seconds. My house phone. Hello? Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Who is this? I'm calling you from BT about the internet. It took them about 7 years to answer. I'm not on BT. I'm on now broadband. So why would they be contacting me about internet?
I know.
My internet when I'm not with you. Numpties. I hate a house phone. But no, well, usually when you answer the house phone nowadays, there's nobody on it. As you heard, I was going, hello, hello, hello. It took about 7 seconds for anyone to answer. It's crazy because it's usually a call center. Yeah, sorry, I was just reading what Barbara was saying now. I should have played it. Anyway, let's carry on with this, so I'll never get it started to finish it.
Have to travel. You have to go to Bohemian Grove. You have to party with rock stars. You have to travel. You have to do magic. This isn't fun anymore. You know, the stuff that they made the most fun in the world for you, which was magic, is no longer fun to do. Now I'm doing magic now because I'm addicted to it. I travel because I have to. Now, I'm not the only high wizard. You know, a lot of people look at it as though you must be really busy flying everywhere.
Well, that's okay. If that's what you want it to be called, that's what it's called. Bunch of bar stewards, babe. Because that's a play on words as well. That's playing the word bastard. You know what I mean? Babe.
Oh, sorry, I was talking and I was
He said he would want to call it bunch of bar stewards. So call it that, bar stewards, because that's a play on the word.
I've screenshot it, so I remember.
Well, I'll remember bunch of bar stewards. Because I say bar steward, don't I? So, but yeah, we'll screenshot it anyway. So.
I did, but chilling. If anyone complains, I'm blaming you.
That's the title. There you go, bunch of bar stewards. Well, at least there's not even a swear in it, so it's just it represents a swear word, but it's not actually swearing itself. So
I do think chilling should come on though, because I reckon chilling would be a right crack.
Yeah, definitely, it should come on the night, but it just depends when he's about. It just depends if he's on it. That if he's alive.
He might not want to be. Do you know what I mean? Some people don't like talking and stuff, but I think chilling would be wicked to have on.
Is going.
70 now, Barbara.
That's good. 70 on the dot. That's good. That's really good, and you've got 100 odd views on that already. That one, that's brilliant. I mean, live, you're getting the same amount. You were getting 17, I think you had live that day. I mean, and I'm on 280 people, and that's what I get live. The same amount of people.
I had a dream though, really right? I had a dream though that we had 40 something watching, and I cacked myself. I was so nervous.
I think the most I had was 39 once, but that was on a Tuesday night. That was on a Tuesday night on a certain topic. You know what I mean? And I think it was also to do with flats and that as well. That's probably why it went so high at that point.
Remember when Brian come in my chat?
Aye.
On our first stream, Barbara, weren't it?
Oh, Brian Stabley.
And I was like, what? He's subbed to my channel and everything.
I was starstruck.
Like, Brian's got thousands.
I know, but he's our friend. You know what I mean?
I know, but like...
My son's got 16,500. I mean, my son's got 16,500.
Wow, true. I know, but for me, I think the most I had was like 43 subs. Until me and Barbara started doing our streams, and then we're now on 70. We were on 70 last time.
That's an idea. Because Barbara's heard about my son, I'm gonna put my son's link in. He doesn't do anything in a minute. I'll put my son's link in just so you can see how he used to talk and stuff like that. But he's not. And I mean, he hasn't put anything in there for a couple of years now, and he's 16 now. I mean, in there he's probably 14 and below, and in talking. So I'm gonna put his link in, and you'll be able to Check it. Hold on.
I get you chilling.
Okay, you can to explain yourself. You don't need to explain yourself. About what?
No, I think he meant about like because I said about talking and that.
Oh,
No,
okay,
you
no
don't
problem,
need to
John. Yeah,
explain yourself.
absolutely, dude, absolutely. You can email me at any point. Sometimes if I don't reply, it's just because I haven't read my emails. I'm rubbish at remembering emails. But yeah, let me just put my son's link in just so you can check him out, Barbara. Let me just go get it. Sorry.
I know, but like the difference now with him, bless him.
Aye. Let me just quickly go to.
At least now, when he goes to where he's going, you can get him. You can get him stuff he needs.
Exactly.
And
That's
you know,
cool.
because you can make the room his own and stuff, so that's better for him.
Aye. What's his name again? Superstar 64, I think. Is it Superstar 64? What? There it is. Superstar 64 XXL. Right, so there he is. There's right, let me just quickly present. Bring it over here. I'll get a link in a sec, but I'll quickly share through the screen. This is my son's channel here. Share screen. Yeah. 16,500 on the dot. He hasn't put anything in for a while. I don't think he's ever done lives. Oh, he might have. Oh, he has done plenty of lives. But 3 years ago, videos. Let me just see. So it's a gamer channel. It's a gamer channel. 3 years ago. So 13, he would have been here because he's 16 now. But yeah, you can hear he's got a perfect vocabulary, stuff like that. There is one of his videos went really viral. That he earned a good bit of money on, but I don't know what it is. Apparently, it had millions of views, but I've never seen it. I don't know, but he's got 16,500 anyway. I'll put his link in. That's his. Was I showing him? Yeah, I was showing his channel. I'll put his link in anyway if anybody wants to. He hasn't put anything in, like say, for 3 years. Once he gets his head sorted out, he may go back to it. I hope he does because he was doing well at it, obviously. 16,500. Maybe for a gamer channel, it's not much, but for a kid, 16,500. From here, it's a lot.
Aye.
I'll put his link in anyway. So his name's Superstar 64 XXL. He joined June the 3rd, 2015. So he joined when he was 7.
Wow.
Copy. Right. Like I said, and that's my son's link if you just want to have a look. And if anybody wants to sub, they can. But like I say, he hasn't put anything up for ages. I mean, so yeah, there it is. That's my I hope it goes back. Like I say, there's nothing new in 3 years by the looks of it.
But obviously, like, there's some people that watch that aren't nice people.
No, I know.
Remember that this is a child, like a child that's going through a lot. So please don't go there and be offensive to him.
I dare say he doesn't check his channel that, but then nobody's got to be. Nobody in here is going to be offensive to Ken.
I don't mean our lot, you know the one.
Oh no, but anybody that watches later, I mean, the links there. I mean, people will go find it anyway. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? They're not going to get to him through the channel. Actually, yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. If people are sad enough to go and do that, then they'll just show me who they are. So. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
I'll leave it. So I'd rather leave it than try and hide his bloody channel. I'm not doing
it. It's a big achievement on YouTube, and fair play to him. Like he's a good kid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know what if he's private in the video. I don't know, but there was a video he got a couple of million views on. He actually made money on it. He's monetized. I'm sure he was monetized.
Mad, isn't it?
If he's monetized, it'd be through his mother. because he would have been
Well,
too young to do it.
his mother takes everything, doesn't she?
She did. She wasn't bad at buying him stuff, but that's the thing. She spoiled him just for an easy life. You know what I mean?
No, but I mean since, like, he ain't been there, but she's still been taking his money.
Oh, sorry. In the top picture on the right of him in the corner, if so, he's a duck. If the picture had him with same color hair as me, blonde kind of hair, yeah, it's him. There's definitely a picture of him there. Let me just quickly look again. I didn't even notice. Let me just quickly look.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is. Yes, that was him. Yeah, that is him. But yeah, he's got his mum's forehead. He's got my forehead. He's got his mummy's forehead.
I subbed to him.
You sub to him.
Yeah.
He's subs have. I tell you what, he hasn't put videos up in 3 years, and his subs have gone up because it said 16.4 thousand. Now it says 16.5. So he did have 16.4. So he's gone up probably a couple hundred or something whilst not posting. So it shows to me that he's like, so he's been away from his mum for a year and a bit now. It shows me when the troubles kind of started happening more. You know what I mean?
It's coming up 2 years.
He stopped uploading 3 years ago. So
because he used to do it, didn't he? He enjoyed doing it. It was his thing. And obviously we don't know what's happened and stuff. But
he made a YouTube video before I ever did.
You know,
and I was a member 2 years before him. Well, it should have been 1 year, but now my profile says 2013 when it was always 2014, and now they're telling me I joined in 2013 when I didn't. I've been Mandela'd.
But well, look at me with my video I made 50 odd years ago.
Well, that's true, Esther. But like I say, even if he does get back to it, he's a gamer channel. Don't know what he might use it. I mean, when he starts talking again and all that stuff, he might use it for something else. I don't know, but I don't think he should abandon it. I think he should still work towards it. He's got 16.5 obvious loyalish subs because they haven't unsubbed. But they are gamers. They are gamers, so they've got to stay. Sub to all the gamers, man. I unsub to him because they have teams and all that. Gamers are mental. Gaming's a big thing when it comes to what?
Esther said, kids are the future. Moms are just protective of offspring. Some mums are confused and need some coaching and prayers. I think, if I'm being honest, I think some mothers shouldn't have their children.
Oh no, his mum. She used to be all right. She used to be a bit. At the minute, no. She's not got his best interests at heart. She's got her best interests at heart, not his. She thinks about what's best for her, not what's best for my son. That's why he's not with her. And
being with her and the person she was with is what made Kenzie stop eating and talking. So for me, he's
gone through some kind of trauma with her and her ex. Our boyfriend of some sort. They've done something.
Yeah, like
he refuses to see her, but he doesn't refuse to see me. He hides his stuff like that from me, but he doesn't refuse to see me. He refuses to see her.
And no child just stops eating and talking, whether they're autistic or not. But we're not, until Kenzie talks, we're not gonna know. And going forward, Kenzie's going to the best place for him.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters. Like, it's all about Kenzie, because Kenzie's the only one that matters in the situation. Obviously, other people's feelings and that are taken into account, but when the child has been through something that none of us know, and it's got to this point, then I think that mother needs more than guidance and prayer. And I think,
Barbara, now if you do watch any of his videos and he's got an English accent, you understand why. I'm not English. I'm from Scotland. Yeah, he was born down here in Coventry. I've just lived here for since 2005, sort of thing. So he's got a different accent to me because he was born down here in Coventry. So he's got an English accent, whilst I've still got the Scottish accent.
But
so you just in case you wondered why the accents are different.
Barbara said some people should never been should never have been busy with motherhood. In my experience, I've cared for too many children who paid the price of foolish, unworthy mothers as well as their dads. And
That's true.
it's true, like, you know, for someone to go from being a really good mum to the point that Kenzie's at now because of a man, you know, that's ridiculous. Nobody should come before your kids.
No, exactly. Hey Jeff, good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man. Good to
I
see you.
get.
But yeah, it's there. If anybody wants to be on a gamer's channel, there you go. It's there. He hasn't uploaded, like you see, for 3 years. I think that's about the latest video you'll see of his. Sorry, not earliest. The latest video you'll see is 3 years ago. I hope he gets back to it. But anyway, let's get back to the story. There's my son's channel anyway.
Well, I'm busy and I'm flying everywhere, but there's generally between 2 and 5 of us in the world. But that number could be as low as 1 or as high as 10. So even with 10 high wizards in the world and all of us crisscrossing the world together, we are all busy.
You're 4% Scots. Oh, does it say 4 or more? 49%. Sorry, it's just because where I was looking at YouTube, the heart was covering it, so I looked at it in StreamYard and it says 49%. That's really good. 49% more than most people in Europe. That's good, man. That's good. Brilliant. I mean, I would dare say that I've got a bit of, I mean, I'm Scottish, obviously, but I'm from northeast Scotland, where across the water is just Norway. So considering my features, prominent eyebrows, broad forehead, fair hair, that kind of thing, light skin, I would say I've probably got Norwegian, a bit of Viking and that in me, because it's straight across the water. So I did say Scandinavian in me somewhere. Anyway, I'm going to go to the toilet.
All the time.
And
And it's shockingly amazing how much people want.
That's it, chilling though. But the thing is, I toned down my accent for being in things like this. Even speaking to Vicky, I toned down my accent because what am I like when I talk to my brother? Babe. Oh, she's not listening. She's cleaning or something. Anyway, yeah. When I talk to my brother and that, it all comes. It's not like it goes away. In my head, I still talk like that, but I have to tone it down. Yeah, when I'm talking to anybody English or people that are not Scottish, even if it's a Glaswegian, I have to tone it down because they don't understand Doric. Glaswegians don't understand Doric and that. So I have to tone it. I have to tone it down. I have to tone the accent down, but the words I have to completely change. Because Doric words are not understood down here. You know what I mean? So I have to tone it down and change the words in here. So that's why it probably doesn't sound that strong to you, chilling. Probably. But if I was talking to my brother, or probably talking to you on the phone, it would change, revert back to Doric. Get what I mean, guys?
To book you to do things.
So you're the High Wizard of the World Church of Satan, which means, like you mentioned, that you do the official magic of the church. And if somebody just jumped in without seeing part 1, this is not like the same kind of magic that you think of. This is real dark stuff. And you are one of the, at least from what I understand, one of the 10 most powerful people in the world having that role. And you also mentioned in the last part that Satan, it is said that Satan handpicks you. So you ended up getting that from your past in the World Church of Satan. You also mentioned the Illuminati. So I would like you to explain how the World Church of Satan was or still is linked with the Illuminati. Can you kind of give an explanation of all of that together to kind of give us an idea of how these two things are connected?
So the Illuminati.
That's what I was going to say, because he said the Illuminati. That's what reminded me. At the end of the last video, when they mentioned the Illuminati, he mentioned me meeting 2 people from the Illuminati, and he spoke to these 2 people, and then 2 weeks later, 2 other people from the Illuminati came, sort of thing, and they spoke about or it could be 2 weeks later, it could be 4. Well, anyway. Every time he met, it was 2 different people. But every time he met these 2 different people from the first people he first met and spoke to, every person he met subsequent to that knew the exact conversation they had and what they spoke about, as though it was them that was there. But it was two separate people every time came. But it was them, it was there at the conversation, and they were humans. So he says, well, how does that happen? It's impossible. But there's only one way that can happen. There's only one way that can happen. It is through demon possession. You told the demon that's going into these people. That's who you told. You told the demon. That's why every time it's separate people, same demon or same demons. Separate people, same demons. So it's the same demon you speak to every time you see these separate people. You were seeing these separate people. That was my point on it anyway. Sort of thing.
Is like, in a sense, they're like their own satanic coven. But there's not enough people in the Illuminati to run the world. So they need foot soldiers. And for foot soldiers, they use satanic covens and the Freemasons.
Mm-hmm.
They changed the way their structure was so that their hierarchy is set up like Freemasonry. And I know that there's a lot of people that when I started talking and you mentioned Freemasons, or I mentioned Freemasons or Illuminati or Bohemian Grove, they switched the channel.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, conspiracy theory stuff, I'm not interested. However, there's a lot of more people that went, oh, conspiracy theory, let's pay attention. They will almost literally.
By the way, I'm drinking a Red Bull. I'm not symbolizing anything, just in case you notice I'm drinking Red Bull while this Illuminati stuff's on. I'm not symbolizing anything. I'm just drinking Red Bull.
Pull the levers and push the buttons of every political.
Oh, dude, of course. Denver Airport. You'll be next to that, Barbara, won't you? That is a mental airport, man. Apocalyptic pictures, underground bunkers. You know what I mean? The statues, the portraits, the murals. It's crazy, man. Crazy, some of the stuff that don't they like putting it in your face there, don't they? In Denver, showing you the truth in plain sight there. Look, yeah. I forgot you won't be too far from there, will you, Barbara? Ah. That's a mental airport, though. Mental airport.
That happens generally in first world countries, but they will do a lot of stuff in third world countries because they can promise things and they can deliver. You know, you use our program, you do the things we say to do, we'll help get you out of poverty. You know, we'll donate a certain amount of money to your country, you know, or we'll teach you how to plant crops. We'll show you something that grows in sand. You know, we'll get Bill Gates to design a toilet that not only can you go to the bathroom in it, but it cleans and sterilizes what you put in it. And then it turns that into electricity.
Sandro, good to see you, bro. Thanks for turning up, dude. Good to see you, man. Barbara said, when she moved to Denver, she said to the father, why did you leave? Why did you move me to this snake pit? Nice, I like it. Maybe the gates of hell's there. I mean, maybe the gates of hell is at that airport. Denver airport's mental.
You know, and it's like, is that even possible? Just to let you know, that's possible. Bill Gates did that. And he did it, I think, in an African country. So they have their hand in so many sinister stews. You know, it's like, because it's not just government that they rule. Almost every rock star, if you're famous, if you're played on.
So he was on live then. I did, because I put the challenge at the start of this, Sandro. But I did notice, because I said to Flats I was going to put the challenge on, but I was going to go on this morning. But then realised, thinking about the content of this guy's testimony. So I went on it too. But when I started, I already seen that Dell was on. was already on, and he had Flatside's name in the title. So I still showed it. I still showed the challenge, although I think he was replying to the challenge at that point, sort of thing. So I still showed it anyway.
The radio, if people know you, and not just.
Oh, he played the challenge there, did he? I played it as well.
In your home state, but in all the states. The Illuminati probably made you famous. You know, when Taylor Swift came out, I told people she's going to go the same route as Miley Cyrus and Britney Spears. And you're like, oh no, she's so nice and she's a Christian girl and my kids love her. And I was like, well, luckily for you, she's so young right now that by the time she goes off the rails, maybe your children won't like her anymore. Because it's going to be probably 10 years from now. I said, but I'm telling you, she's going to go that route. You know, people are like, oh, no. She's Taylor Swift, clean-cut girl. She's wonderful. So, as you know, Taylor Swift admits that she does magic.
Yeah, she's very open about it in her videos, and we see it a lot in Hollywood, and that's something that we're definitely going to talk more about later, because those things that you mentioned about Hollywood and the Illuminati, these are not conspiracy theories coming out of your mouth. This is experiences, because you've been there with these people. You were in these groups. So I just want people that are watching this to understand this is not somebody making up a theory or listening to other people online. This is somebody that has been in those circles, that has talked to these people. So just to get out the way. But let's go back to you being a high wizard. We talked about you doing the official magic of the coven. What is the most powerful spell a high wizard can do?
A hex.
Okay, and how does that work?
Okay, so in any regular spell, let's say you come to my coven, you have a high-end luxury car dealership, and you sell Lamborghinis, Porsches, Rolls-Royce, Mercedes, but there's another place that you want to own, and they sell more than you and better cars than you, but the guy just laughs in your face. He refuses to sell. No matter how much you offer, he refuses to sell. So you come to the coven and you say you want something done. What can you do for me? What can we offer you? And we tell you, we can give you anything from a frozen glass of water in the freezer, which is like the most basic spell, to the evil eye, which is not, it sounds a very easy basic spell, but it's not. It's more complex, to potions, elixirs, chants, incantations, all the way up to an abortion, which is a hex. And you're desperate. You've tried everything with this guy. Nothing works. What will happen if, let's say you paid $10 million and you got it?
Yeah, if you had the phone going a minute ago, that was me. That was my community Citizens Advice Bureau calling me. I forgot to let her know that I should actually put my phone on do not disturb when I go live. she got that. I was busy, but I didn't mean to hang up now, and it hung up straight away. As soon as it says I'm live right now, it hung up. So I was just texting saying I didn't mean to hang up, sort of thing. It just must have hung up itself. Or by my ear. Sometimes your ear hangs up for you, you know.
You got a hex.
Are you still okay, babe? You still that, babe? Cleaning? No, she's either cleaning or she can't hear me.
I'm here.
Okay, I was just saying you're right.
Who rang you?
Helen. Yeah, I just let her know I was like, she says she'll either call back tomorrow or Wednesday. If not, she's not back. She's on holiday for a week or something. As in going on holiday, so she'll be after that or whatever. Okay. She gave me the dates, but I can't remember. It's probably just to catch up, and there's nothing to change. I need to phone them again, don't I? I need to phone the electricity thing. I need to sort that out. Right, anyway.
What's going to happen? Well, you're going to end up with the business.
What, babe?
I roboted again.
Okay. Still got these Red Bulls left here.
Most likely. We can't guarantee how it will happen. It will happen however the devil wants it to happen. You just have to be okay with, you just made a deal with the devil. If you're okay with that, then we'll hand this off to one of our high wizards and he'll do it.
Okay, so there's different levels of spells that a wizard or a high wizard can do. The highest one, which is the most expensive and the most likely to work, is a hex, and that requires an abortion, like you said.
Yes.
Do you know how this works? How can you do an abortion and have whatever you want to happen? Do you have any idea of how that works, or is that kind of like a mystery?
You do. You have an area that's set up with your altar and everything on it. You need your magic spell. And then you pretty much go in and do most of your magic spell. Then you go do your abortion. And when you do your abortion, you have to get blood on your hands.
Again, do not agree with any of the things that he has done in his past as part of his testimony. Do not condone them whatsoever. Do not agree with them. This is for educational, spiritual purposes.
Because you need that blood in the hex. Then you go back to your altar and you do your hex. Now, when you're doing magic, basically what you're doing is praying to Satan to attach a demon to somebody.
Okay.
Every curse is basically the same. But let's say that I send a demon to somebody, and now a single curse is as it implies. The demon goes one time. So he goes one time, and that person's in a state of grace. So goes, person's in a state of grace, demon leaves. The curse doesn't there. Hex is a different story.
Okay.
Melisandre, I remember that one. I watched the whole. I remember that when that one first came out. I watched the full lot of that nearly 6 hours. I think it was in a winner, listening to that dude. That Australian. I can't remember the guy. He's Australian dude, isn't he? Sat and listened to them. Yeah, I listened to that for the full 5 hours in a winner. I didn't take any rests with it. I mean, obviously I went to the toilet and stuff like that, but I didn't go to sleep. Come back, watch some more. Nah, I watched that all the way through that one. I don't think I can do that now.
Let's say I do a tri-curse. In a tri-curse, the demon's going to go.
And I probably could. I mean, I stream sometimes 5 hours. I suppose I could watch some at 5 hours, you know. Oh yeah. It wasn't intentional, Luke. It wasn't intentional. Got you, man. How you doing anyway? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you.
3 times. So let's say he's going to go today at noon, tomorrow at 4 p.m., and in 2 weeks he's going to go again at 2 p.m. So he does all 3 of those, and all 3 times.
That's right. The winner of X Factor Australia. Was it in the Australian X Factor or just the winner of X Factor? And he was over here doing it. I don't know. It was probably Australian X Factor, wasn't it? I remember him now.
That person's in a state of grace. So my spell doesn't work. However, let's say it's a hex instead. So in a hex, I did an abortion. So the demon goes to that person and goes, "Oh, you're in a state of grace? No problem. I'll wait." So he just stands around and waits. And as soon as that person goes into a state of cardinal sin, the mental sin, then he attaches.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That explains a lot of things for me. So when you do a spell, it's not for like some weird things to happen and then all of a sudden you have it. It's more it makes more sense than that. You literally pray to Satan to send a demon to that specific person. So in the example of the car dealership, you would have the car dealer that wants to buy the other one. You'd have him, buy an X, and then the demon would be.
Barbara says, I was stunned to learn I was engaged to a Satanist in 1976. He was my eldest son's dad. Thankfully, he got away from it decades ago, and they've been talking for 5 years now. I was late to John 1976. That's the year I was born. 1976. My date of birth is 7776. Slightly imperfect. I've got a 6. I was 1 in all the sevens. It's 1 year old in 7777. What I was going to say, was he a Satanist as in he believed Satan as an entity, or did he believe Satan is just an ideology sort of thing?
Sent to the other one to influence him to sell the dealership to the other guy. So that would mostly work. And the reason why a hex is so effective is because the demon can actually stay and wait for a time where the person is vulnerable. And then when that person is vulnerable, the demon kind of attacks.
1963 is not old. My older sisters were all born around about then.
DJ, forgot to say.
What?
You know what you were saying about the sevens?
Yeah.
We're 7 years apart.
Oh, we are. Me and Vicky's 7 years apart. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. In age.
Aye.
But yeah, 1963 is not old. That's just 13 years before me. And all my older sisters were born around about then. 1960, I think the oldest one was.
I was born in 1983.
1961, actually. She's 15 years older than me. Yeah. So my older sister was nearly old enough to be my mum. She died. She died a couple of years ago now.
I was born in 83.
83.
Nice.
Youngest house.
You can't say that.
I know.
Or enters, or however that works, and then the hex is most of the time going to be effective. So, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for clarifying.
What happened in that instance is that the hex was done, and the owner of the other high-end dealership died.
Mm.
And then they came to his wife and said, hey, we've been trying to buy this dealership. Would you sell it to us? And she said, sure, I don't have any reason to keep it. We made lots of money. I'm rich. My husband died. He was insured. I'm worth more money than I can ever spend. So how much did you offer him last time? And they were like, we offered $10 million. And she's like, oh, you can have it for $5 million. Now, I can't make the person die, but the demon can. And the demon has to tell Satan needs to get God's permission.
That's right.
If God
needs God's permission, but God ain't given Satan permission to kill anyone. No one. He can have permission to tempt us, can't have permission to kill us.
God says yes, the person dies.
So this is like the example in Job where God did not give permission. Okay, super interesting. Let's go back to abortions, because in your book you talk a lot about abortions. Obviously, you did that.
Again, don't agree with them. Just disclaiming that do not agree with the abortions. This is for spiritual and educational purposes only.
A lot. That's one of the main things that you talk about now, and you talk against. You performed 149 abortions, and 146 were successful. So 3 of them failed. We already talked about why you performed so many abortions. Can you explain why 3 of them failed?
Sure. Now, it was a mystery to me back when this happened. Okay, so let me set up the scenario for one of the failures. I arrive at an abortion mill, and
just a warning, and this might be a little graphic the way he explains things. He does get to the nitty-gritty in some things, so just a warning.
The abortion mill is 2 stories. and all the abortions take place on the second floor. On the first floor, on our side, is a satanic biker gang. And they're standing there flipping cigarettes across the street, flipping them off, mooning them, bearing their breasts to them. I mean, there's males and females in this group. They're cussing out the people across the street. Now, the people across the street is, well, I've never been to an abortion mill like this. There's all these people across the street. I don't know what they're doing.
Not that we know of. He hasn't said that, no. He hasn't personally. He's just performed them. Because they were a big part of getting a higher level spell to work or hex to work, because it's taken an innocent's life, isn't it? In blood. But no, he hasn't said he's at any of them. No.
Their heads are bowed, or they're walking around silently. They're having cigarettes flicked at them. People are cussing them. They don't seem to be care. They seem to be oblivious to everything that's being said to them. They're just on the other side of the street. There's just a little 2-lane road separating them. But they seem like if you gave them cigarettes to flick back, they wouldn't do it.
Okay.
And so I'm there I have an entourage with me. I get there in a limo. I'm in my uniform. I go inside. They tell me what's going on. Send me upstairs. We get upstairs, and the room is set up. I have an altar already there. It's out of view of the people that are doing the abortion. You don't want to totally freak them out. I mean, it's bad enough they're seeing me. And they know that this person has already said, we can do this this act where the satanic eye is going to come in. This person is a breeder. That she's already had like 9 abortions, and she knows what time it is. She knows that it's all Satanists that are going to be in there, and they're going to abort her baby to the devil, and she's okay with it. So we go in there. I'm dressed as the High Wizard. I put on a surgical mask and gloves, and we're getting ready for this abortion to take place. And I'm in there. I have a handler, and that your handler gets you your sin. So if you like cocaine and hookers, he's going to get you your cocaine and hookers. But whatever it is you like, this is the guy that you go to. And he travels with me almost everywhere. So we hear the people across the street start chanting.
Chile for the healings. I'll take the high road and you take the low road, and I'll be in Jock Wonderful, yeah. Hey, Dorian, Greg, good to see you, man. Good to see you. The healings of hell, the gates of Hades reside in the healings. Just north of Inverness, gates of Hades.
And we walk over to the window, and it's these large jalousie windows with a big hand crank. And we can't make out what they're saying through the glass. So we crank open the window. And by the way, when they start chanting, all the bikers down below took off running and screaming. We didn't know what's going on with that. So we listened to it a couple of times, and then I start repeating what I'm hearing. I'm thinking this is where it starts, because they get to this part and they stop, and then it starts over. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Then says the second half.
Ooh, something got blotted out. Hey, Sandra, drunk drivers are one of the worst things ever, man. Drunk driving. You know when you're drunk not to go behind the wheel of a car. You know, people know how impaired you get, even when you're drunk. And you say, I'm all right to drive. You know you're not okay to drive. You know you're not. People don't get drunk to the point that they don't know that they can't drive. They know that they can't drive properly. You're impaired when drunk. It's different from being stoned. I mean, even being stoned, you're a little bit more impaired, but nothing like being drunk or whatever. But drunk is behind the wheel is a bad thing. It's a bad thing. You definitely know for sure that you're not driving right. I mean, you can't walk properly when you're steaming, so why would you be able to drive properly? You can't balance yourself. How can you balance a car? You know what I mean? Well, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. I know you don't need to balance a car, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Holy Mary, Mother of God. And we burst out laughing because God's old. How old must his mom be? That's as far into that prayer as we got because you're acting too silly. And we're like, okay, well, crank the window shut again. And we walk back over to this woman.
Hey, it's me, and I'm sorry for interrupting this amazing story, but I just wanted to remind
Well, why did you then? Come on, dude.
you that we have extra content on Locals that you should check out, like the beginning of this conversation or the after show, which talks about the takeaways and practical applications of the testimonies. Go to almostfalse.locals.com or download the Locals app to get free access, unless you want to be missing out. Anyway, the links are in the description. Now, let's get back to the story.
That's the guy's channel. That's mine.
So it's me, an abortion doctor, and an abortion nurse. All I've got to do is get blood on my hands. We're totally ready to start. The doctor checks the woman and says, you're not dilated. She's like, what? He goes, you're not dilated. This abortion's not happening right now. This is like at least 6 hours away. Probably tomorrow. Might be tonight. What are you doing? I said, I'm flying out in a few hours. I can't come back for a few days. And he goes, we'll do the abortion tomorrow. I said, I can't come back tomorrow. I got other stuff to be. I had other things to do. And she's like, excuse me. And I'm like, yes. She goes, is this your first rodeo too? No, I've done this quite a bit. And she said, well, the baby's in the birth canal. You might want to go ahead and start. And, I was like, he says you're not dilated. I'm not really sure what that means.
Okay.
And so I don't know what to check for. I'm not a doctor. She goes, what do you do? I said, I'm not a wizard. She goes, you don't know how to check. I don't go to medical school for this. And she's like, you need to get down there. You need to get busy. You need to get going. Stuff's happening. You're going to have a baby on your hands. Doctor checks again. Goes, not dilated. Baby's definitely not in the birth canal. And, she's cussing us both out. I mean, some of these words I've never even heard before. She's like, you guys need to figure this out and start. Doctor checks one more time. He goes, there's nothing going on.
So before we continue, I have one question. This one was about to give birth. Is that right?
And this has got to be one that was meant to be, miraculously.
Yes.
Okay, and the reason why you wait so long for the abortion, is there a specific reason why, as a Satanist, you waited that long before?
They wanted it to be a late-term abortion.
And why? Because
you're murdering a baby that would be viable on the outside if it came out. And you're killing more innocent.
I was wondering about that. I was like, why are they waiting until that? I mean, obviously, I don't believe in abortions, but you can abort at any time now, can't you? Pretty much. So I'm thinking, why are they waiting to dilate? If you're dilated, then you're giving birth. I mean, why are they waiting? But then I'm realizing, obviously, then they've got laws and stuff like that where make it. That's mad though. That's mad. I was thinking, why are they waiting till dilation? But obviously, it's a lot thing, and obviously, it's ready to start living life as well. You see it whipping its life before, from without it, from within it, Such a shame. But at least they're with the Father. At least they're with the Father.
So the principle is to try to do the most evil thing possible. And the worst thing is that the baby is about to come out and you just kill it right there. Right?
Right.
Okay. So let's go back to the story. What happened? The lady wasn't dilated. She was cussing you out. What happened after?
Me and the doctor are involved in a conversation about when can I come back? Because I can't come back till Friday, but I've got things scheduled up until then. What do you have scheduled? Can you get me another girl in here on Friday that would understand what's happening? And as we're having this discussion, we hear a baby cry. And we both look down, and the baby came out. And I think the doctor said, I'll be damned. And then we have...
yeah, I mean, I don't like that word, Luke, but exactly, there's never a better word for them than that. Evil cunts.
Attorney and a social worker comes in, and the nurse stays and takes care of the baby, and they get the baby ready for adoption. There's people waiting in line to adopt, and they'll be called right away, and it won't be a Satanist that takes it. It'll be somebody that's a non-Satanist that wants the baby that isn't going to kill it. And, then it was time for me to go. My job is over. I didn't get to kill a baby. So we went back, walked downstairs, got in the car, and drove away. Eventually, I'm back in the office. And the office is in downtown Chicago. And I asked my secretary to pull all the files of all the failed abortions. Because I've had, at this point, this was my third one. And I want to know what's the common denominator. So she pulled all of mine and everybody, all the other eye wizards. So I can review everybody's and see what the common denominator is. So then I can tell the other eye wizards, hey, avoid this. So the only common denominator I could come up with was that when they failed, they were happening during regular business hours. So between like 8 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Okay.
Now, something else that was a common denominator, but I didn't pick up on it because everybody called it something different. Everybody was saying, and people were outside praying Jesus beads, worry beads, prayer ropes, prayer chains.
I did say that. It would be miraculous. It'll be miraculous.
So every time there was a failed abortion, there were people outside the abortion clinic that were praying.
Praying rosaries.
Aha!
But no one used the word rosary. When I cranked the window open, they were saying Hail Marys from a rosary. I didn't know what a Hail Mary was. I didn't know what a rosary was. I grew up Baptist. We didn't pray rosary. So here it is that everybody where there's a failed abortion, people were outside praying on their rosaries.
Well, that's surprising and not surprising, depending on what you believe. I am not surprised because I have seen things like this happen. But it's a reminder for any Christian that if you pray, God answers and can definitely do things like this. And I think that's the reason why there's so much of a push against prayer outside of abortion centers. They probably have woken up to that, and now they're trying to fight against it. I wanted to go to something else that you kind of touched on. You mentioned that in the beginning, you got to do all these things. You got to go to Bohemian Grove. You got to hang out with rock stars. And at a point, you had to. It became part of a job.
Right.
Obviously, Satanism is based around the idea of sin. Were there ever sins that you did not want to commit, but you were forced to?
When I do my talks, towards the end of the talk, I compare my job to working in a candy store. Like not
Yeah, I don't think it would have anything to do with prayers, to do with rosaries. There was probably one little old lady, little young man, little old man, big old man, big old lady. Probably one little Christian dude out there or something like that, praying to the Lord. I don't think the rosaries were the ones doing it. But it could have been just one person praying to God, praying to Jesus for this. Someone in the bedroom. Didn't have to be outside. But that's the common denominator he's seen. If they were praying Christ's name, nothing to do with the rosary, nothing. Forget the rosary. But if they're praying Christ's name, perhaps, yeah. Because I don't believe all Catholics aren't saved because they confess the same as us. Catholicism is the problem, not Catholics. Catholicism is the problem. I dare say there is few Catholics out there that are saved, that mean what they say. They're just in wrong doctrine because of Catholicism, you know. But it's Catholicism that's wrong. It's I dare say there is a few Catholics saved, you know. But Catholicism is certainly a big problem. I don't think it was a rosary. It'll be someone praying in Jesus' name, you know.
Not a candy store in the mall, but a freestanding building, something that has like 100,000 pieces of candy. And you're
Sergio, good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man.
Wondering, and all that candy represents sin. So how long is it going to take you to try every piece of candy? And how I compare that to regular sins is that there are some sins that are so disgusting, you're not going to do those. But you're going to try everything else. You're going to try all the sins you love. So all the chocolate you're going to eat, and all the sins you've thought about but you've never done. So the hard candy, you're going to try that. But that licorice is disgusting. Some of those sins are...
Of course, Luke. Of course they can. Anythings can be saved. Satanists can be saved. Murderers can be saved. Rapists can be saved. This can be saved, yeah. Angry can be saved. Can the devil be saved? No, don't ask me that one. People keep saying, can the devil be saved? Can he be reading? No, it's written he won't be. There's no point in asking about that. It's not going to happen. It's not been prophesied. The devil does not redeem himself. He does not turn around. He cannot.
Stuff you never do. Well, you know, after 6 months, you've tried every sin that you like to do. Everything you like to do, you've done. At least once. And in another 6 months, you've tried the ones you said you'd never do. After a while, you settle on your favorites. But every once in a while, you branch out and try something new. Even if 3 years ago, you'd have never done this. But now you're so bored, you'll do it just out of boredom.
It's like the Bible talks about we are slaves to sin. And a lot of people are going to understand this from the...
Even Nebuchadnezzar was made a new creature. Absolutely. Absolutely. Old King Nebuchadnezzar. It's not just a spaceship in the Matrix. A hovercraft in the Matrix, should I say.
Dopamine standpoint, but it's the same principle that if you continuously reward your brain with dopamine, it's going to want more and more and more, and you'll go to more intense things. What you're saying is that's what sin is. If you indulge in sin, you're going to get a taste for things that you never thought you would be interested in, and you would indulge in more and more and more, and it's a vicious circle.
Yeah, there's a famous exorcist, Father Chad Ripperger. He has a great quote: "Sin makes you stupid." It's like the more you sin, the stupider you get. Till eventually, you don't see what you're doing as sin anymore. It's just what you do.
Well, for you, it was slightly different. because at some point you realized that something was off. So when did you first start thinking about leaving Satanism?
And about 3 years into it, when I've done quite a few abortions at this point, and
I was thinking about King Nebuchadnezzar. That it was made. It was him. It was made into a beast, wasn't it? Like he had to eat out in the grass, eat like a beast, eat like an animal, pretty much. He had the mind of an animal. Yeah, so he was made into another creature.
My internet's rubbish.
I don't know what's going on. It's weird.
I need to start doing it on my laptop so I don't have to deal with this. So from after today, that's it. I'm not using my phone for it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Don't blame you.
I had a visitor.
Who?
The thing.
Same
Didn't come in.
Oh, yeah,
Brought, because she smoked my fags and drank my energy drinks. So she brought me fags and energy drinks, and then she was stood at my door, and I was like, right, go, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? She's shouting at my front door.
Shouting?
Yeah, shouting, I love him, I'm sorry, I'm going to stand by him. And I went, look, what part of I'm done, I don't care, don't you get?
No, you shouldn't have even took the fact. You shouldn't have took anything off her. You should have said, keep it. You'll need it yourself. No, I want you to take nothing off her. Sorry?
No, I'm done. Like, she can stick her whatever's up her ass. Like, I'm done.
Did you take it?
Yeah, I took it.
I would have just told her, piss off with it.
No, and she thought she was going to come in the house, and I'm like, nah, you don't ever come to my door again, I'm done.
Did you tell her that?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm done. Like, what part of I'm done don't you get?
She's got to stick by a guy she met a couple what do you mean? She met a couple of days ago. She didn't even meet him. She moved him in, met him 24 hours, moved him in within 24 hours, even though he had his own flat. And it's just a ridiculous situation. I don't understand people who can do that. She's 50. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to. No, she angers me. Anyway.
Yeah.
Not as many as I was going to do, obviously, but because I'm averaging about one a month the entire time I was a high wizard. But 3 years in, you realize that when you get off one plane, you got to walk over and get on another plane, and yesterday you were just partying with rock stars. Today, you're going to be partying with more rock stars, and you don't have a choice. And you have to party with these people. And, at the end of 3 years, you realize that all your clothes smell like the candy store. So you burn your clothes and buy new clothes, and they smell like the candy store. You dump your girlfriend because she smells like the candy store. You get a new girlfriend, she smells like the candy store. No matter what you do, you can't escape the candy store. After 5 years, you realize that your boss cannot create any new sin. You're like, a new candy bar comes out. You're all excited. There's a new sin. I'm going to try that. And you rip the candy bar off the wall and you tear into it and you realize it's a brand new wrapper on an old candy bar. A new drug comes out, crack cocaine. You were going to be.
There was a time I was going down the rabbit hole of the Illuminati and stuff like that. Illuminati, symbology with the Illuminati, anything to do with the Illuminati. And it was good. It was good to learn, you know what I mean? But I had to, after a few months, you know what I mean, doing this every day and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I had to take myself out of it because you start feeling dark. Not that I had dark thoughts of what I was going to do and all that, but you start feeling the darkness from that rabbit hole, like the Illuminati, like the evil roundabout is surrounding you. You feel it. You start feeling that. So I didn't want to feel that because every time I was going into it, it was like bring me to that. It's a feeling of despair. Not that you're in despair, but the disparity round about you. You start feeling. And I had to come out of it. Because it can be like that if you're going down a rabbit hole. You can start feeling the darkness around about it, and it encloses in. It oppresses you. And you just got to come out of it now and again. Oppression leads to depression, isn't it? So, yeah.
The first on your block to smoke it. And you are. And right after you finish, you realize, wait a minute. This is cocaine. There's no new drug. It's just a new way to smoke it. Damn it. I was fooled again.
So you got bored of the sins and of the what got you excited to become a high wizard in the first place was not appealing to you anymore. So you thought about leaving. Well, the question is, you were involved with the Illuminati and the World Church of Satan. How hard is it to leave the Illuminati? Because I imagine it's not just a thing where you just retreat and it's like, oh, nothing happens after. So how hard is it really?
You realize at some point that if you leave, there's 3 ways to leave. You can die of natural causes, you can be murdered, or you can commit suicide. Now, all 3 of those methods, I believed I'd sold my soul to the devil.
None of them sound too appealing.
When I was 13. So all 3 of those methods, I end up in hell. Now, when I first started, I wasn't sure hell was real. I agreed to sell my soul to the devil because I'm not sure the devil is real, and I'm not sure that hell is real. Now that I'm the high wizard, I know the devil is real, and I'm pretty certain that hell is a real place. And I am not ready to go. So I have a bank account that has $87 million. None of it's mine. I can't spend it with impunity. It belongs to my coven. Whenever I have certain covers that I present to people or certain disguises, they have to know my bank account. So it's there for that. I drive a Lamborghini Diablo that was loaned to me by another Satanist. It's not my car. I have to give that back. My real car during that time, because I had a bunch of cars, my real car was a Nissan Sentra. Not even a new one. It was older. You know, I dressed as the High Wizard, and I chose an 18th century style tuxedo. And it was made by a very nice clothing manufacturer. And it was expensive. And if you saw me in that, you thought, whoa, he's dressed nice. But if you came to my house, I remember I lived in Frenchtown. Frenchtown is in Tallahassee, Florida. I don't know what it's like now, but back when I lived there, it was the ghetto. If you came to my house and saw me dressed, I was probably wearing cutoffs, flip-flops, and a Metallica t-shirt. You know, I didn't dress in nice clothes all the time. I lived in the ghetto. I drove a borrowed car. You know, I had $87 million. It wasn't mine. My bank account had about between $235 and $265 in it when I was done paying all my bills.
So you had no money, and you mentioned there's 3 options, and all 3 of them lead to you dying, and you have no money in order to get out anyway. So I understand the difficulty of that, you know, to start with. But my question also is, because eventually you did end up leaving Satanism, but weren't you scared that your family was going to get targeted? Because I feel like that would be something pretty obvious. If you try to escape, if you try to flee, they're going to target your family. So what was your thought process about that?
When I graduated college, by then I had been a High Wizard for about 5 years. I stopped contacting my parents and my brother. I didn't contact any family. And when all you think about is yourself, when you're that selfish, no one else matters to you. Which really, I think, was to my advantage.
There you go.
Hello.
Is that better?
Yeah.
All right. It's a lot easier on the computer, isn't it? You're not messing about. Anyway, there we go.
When I left, because I wasn't worried about my parents.
Babe,
There wasn't any indication.
Yeah.
I could hear YouTube as well. What do I do?
Well, you can't have YouTube sound up and this on at the same time. You have to turn the
I just
sound
got
up.
rid of YouTube.
Yeah, well, you could split your screen and have StreamYard on one side, and you need to get a monitor. If you're going to have YouTube on,
I can see the comments. It's fine.
Well, just have YouTube on your phone, but turn the volume down. If you have it on the computer, you still have to have the volume down. It's even when I was on the laptop. Like when I was in, like I've got YouTube to the right of me. I look at YouTube on the right, but I've also got it in front of me, obviously, because what I see to the right is obviously on YouTube, which is probably 20 seconds away, where everybody else is in, sort of thing. So like I always have to have that on, but I have to have that on mute, because if I have the sound on, then I'm going to hear YouTube through StreamYard, which is live, and then the YouTube on YouTube, which is 10-20 seconds, says it's live, but it's not really. It's about 20 seconds behind, 10-20 seconds behind. So you have to have that one on mute because you hear that behind anyway. So even if you've got two screens, you still have to have the YouTube that you're watching on your channel, on Dan, the one that you're sharing.
Yeah, no, I've done it. I've done it so I can comment in YouTube from in here.
Well, you can do that. You can do that.
Yeah, that's what I just did.
You can do that.
Alessandro.
But oh no, it's Restream. It does it different. Restream, it does it from the top down. Right, it comes up. You know, in StreamYard, it does it the same way as YouTube.
Right.
There you go. But you have to have YouTube too, man.
Right.
Because you'll hear YouTube through this.
Well, I did.
Yeah.
Hi, Barbara.
I'd call them in like the last 7 or 8 years. You know, I didn't send them letters. You know, there wasn't much email back then. I had a cell phone, but you know, I never called my parents on it. Now, my dad said when I came back, because I was gone from my parents for about 17 years. My dad said that somebody nefarious, you're not sure who, put a tap on their phones. And he saw somebody climb the pole.
That's what I'm saying. Keeping an eye on them, because you can't just leave just like that. I wonder how he did get out of it completely.
The bag.
Obviously through the Lord. As only Jesus can do it.
That wasn't AT&T. And was tapping the phones.
So they still found your family, even if you hadn't had contact. They still found them and tried to find you that way.
Everybody knew who my family was. They knew where I was from. You know, they were trying to find me. And, you know, they never found because I never called them or did anything.
Well, let's talk about that part, because that's really interesting. How were you able to escape the World Church of Satan and the Illuminati without being caught? What did you try, and how did you end up kind of like evading them for that long?
I had been a private investigator, and I learned I was never hired to find somebody and was unable to find them. Like, I had tons of tricks and, you know, just tricks of the trade, stuff you learn, you pick up along the way on how to find somebody.
No, we had enough of her, Barbara. We had enough of her. I like testimonies, not testimonies. No, I dare say she was telling the truth. She was just green.
Everybody leaves a paper trail, regardless of whether you think you do or you don't. Everybody does. So when I left, I ended up, well, I'm getting
True, priest colours. But he was on the first video. He was wearing a grey shirt. In the first one.
out of myself. First off, I pilfered money out of my own account because they watched my regular account and my $87 million account. I can't touch that account. And if I take any of that, I'm stealing. They can charge me with that. So out of my own account, every week, I mean, they knew that every week I took some money out of my account for like a candy bar at the grocery store. Yeah, I'd take $10 out. Well, now I started doing $10 a week or $20 here and there, but I didn't spend it on a candy bar. I put it away. And I did that for about 8 months. And I sold a couple of things at home. You know, stuff that I knew this is like a high-end item. So, I mean, it's worth $1,000. Let's say I spent, I sell it for $800.
I did kind of think that. Barbara. Yeah, because I don't know for sure, I can't turn around and tell her that it was a testimony, can I? But I get you. I get what you're saying. I agree.
Instead, people are going to jump at it. I'm going to get $800.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm doing things like that. Eventually, I had a decent amount of money. You know, just.
I hope she wasn't literally on fire. I hope not, or we're going to need some fire extinguishers around here.
Twirled away. Didn't put it in the bank. Kept it in cash in my house. And then we had anything you wanted to go do. There's a Satanist that does it. Like, I had a satanic doctor. So I made an appointment with the satanic doctor. And you jump up on the interstate and you get off on the last exit. And that takes you right to his office. So I made that appointment for 5 p.m. I'd be the last appointment of the day. And I jumped up on the interstate and just kept going. Didn't get off on the exit. Drove my car till I ran out of gas.
Hey, Ralph. HUW. May God bless us all. It's one chief on this earth, and it's one chief in heaven. Everybody must know by his self which way is the correct way. Is the correct way. I thought it said sheep then. Sorry. Is the correct way. Spiritual way is different. Some dark, some light. But yeah, absolutely, Ralph. Good to see you. Good to see you. Ralph. I take it it's your first time here. I take it it's your first time here, Ralph. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming.
I also took all my credit cards with me, chopped those up along the way, and every town I'd go in, I'd just throw half of it away. And then when I ran out of gas, and then hitched a ride to the next town, when I got there, I sold my car for scrap, had a backpack, packed everything that I wanted to take in my backpack, which pretty much was food, and got a Greyhound bus ticket. And this was 1999. So you didn't need a passport to get into Canada. And so I bought a Greyhound bus ticket to get me into Canada. Now, the reason I was choosing Canada is that it's very rare that I ever did anything as a high wizard in Canada.
Okay, interesting.
So I figured it'd be a good place to hide. And when I got up to New York, Greyhound rejected me at the border. They wouldn't let me into Canada.
Ooh.
Didn't give me a reason, just said, you don't have a passport. I was like, you don't need a passport. You know, I got a driver's license. They didn't care. And they rejected me from the border. So I
2000 party's over, out of time. So tonight I'm gonna party like it's 1999 on the way to Canada. Nice.
opened up United States Atlas, closed my eyes, put my finger down. What's Satan telling me today? Oklahoma. Landed on Tulsa, Oklahoma. So going to Tulsa. And so I went to, now keep in mind at this time that I am addicted to magic. So I'm still doing magic spells every day. But in my world, demons have to do what the High Wizard says. So I'm telling the demons not to tell anybody that where I am.
Because even though you're not part of the church, you're still...
Yeah, he probably did. He probably did, Sandro. And he was a Mormon as well. He was a Mormon. I did like his music, though. I love Prince.
You're still a High Wizard because the title is not given by the church, but it's given by Satan himself. Does that logic follows?
Yes. And it's also, once you're...
Yes, he did, Esther. Yeah, because I came over to tell Richie that I was doing one of his songs with Mr. Super Sidewinder. Yeah. And I always play out with Mr. Super Sidewinder, which I will do again today. Can't remember which one I got for today. But I have got one.
Made the High Wizard, it's for life. So no matter what you become after you're a High Wizard, say you decide to be a Christian, you decide to join the Catholic Church, you decide to be a Catholic priest.
I think it's Mr. Super Sidewinder and a girl called Indiana or something. I think they're both playing harmonica, I think.
Still the High Wizard. So no matter what I do, I'll always be the High Wizard. So I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I lived 1 year off the grid. And then I lived 2 years on the grid.
I'm actually not sure, Doreen. I can't remember him saying it. Probably said demons. Mong sounds about right. Yeah, Mong.
Good. I changed my name. So it'd be a little harder to find. And I got a couple of things, a couple of bills in that person's name. And then I bought a car. And I tried to get into Canada again. And I got rejected again at the border. And again, passport. And this would have been like 2002. So 9/11 had already happened. And then I was heading back to Oklahoma, and a friend called me. I had a cell phone then, and he says, "Where are you?" And I told him where I was, and he goes, "There's you trying to get into Canada?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "There's a border crossing near Vermont. There's no border guard there. You can just drive straight across." All right, I'm going that way. So I'm heading that way. I'm about 2 or 3 hours away. And I am suddenly just so exhausted, I can't keep my eyes open. So I find a rest stop and I take a nap. Except when I wake up, it's not 2 or 3 hours later. It's the next day. It's in the morning. I go,
That sounds like Ricky sleeps for 4 days at once. Hey, babe. 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 No, not listening.
to the bathroom, wash up, come back out, get in my car, drive across the border. It's only 2 hours away. Except when I drive across the border guard pulls me over, searches my car inside and out, top to bottom. And while he's doing that, he's telling me his life story. I'm the first person he's pulled over. He's been trying to get this job for 3 years. And today is his very first day on the job.
So if you hadn't slept in the car the day before, you would have went through. But because you couldn't control and you had to fall asleep, and that was a really long nap too, not a regular nap. And because it was the next day, now you got stopped.
Right. So, and my first thought was, God has got a sense of humor. So he rejects me, and I have to go back into the States. And at this point, I am worth $18 and have half a tank of gas. And a friend tells me,
I'm trying to say, Sandra, it's taken from Mongoloid. Well, I'm subscribed to somebody, what's his name? The Sewer King, and he uses that Mongoloid a lot. He uses that word Mongoloid a lot. I think it's the Sewer King's name. His reports on Logan Paul and all that takes place at Logan Paul. Pretty good. Funny. He's not a flat earther or probably hasn't got Jesus or anything like that, but it's a funny channel. Sewer King, he says Mongoloid a lot. It's something that's been said in the UK since even I'm 48. Since I was a kid, we used to call people Mongos, which is obviously deterioration, a derivative of Mongoloid, in Mong. Comes from the same thing, but when I was a kid, it was Mongo. It was more spelt with it sounded like a U, Mongo, like Mongo from Blazing Saddles. Can I get for mango? Can I get for mango? That kind of Mongo. That's how we used to say it, Mongo. Are you about, babe? Babe? Obviously not.
Friend, some guy I met at a rest stop, told me about Burlington, Vermont.
So eventually you got a job and you went up the ranks and got a different job at a jewelry store. And that's when your life changed completely, because as you mentioned, you were still addicted to many things. You were still doing magic. So you had left the Illuminati and the World Church of Satan, but you had not left like Satanism or Satan's side. But now you get this job at the jewelry store, and this is an absolute miracle happens. So can you tell the story of all that happened that day?
I was, like I said, still addicted to magic. So the night before I did my magic spell, and a lot of people asked me, what'd you do that night? I have no idea. I did magic every night. And usually, I did some of my magic really fast because I wanted to get it over with so I could start watching movies that night or start smoking dope that night. Whatever it is I'm going to do, I need to get my magic spell out of the way so I can do it. And what I'm doing isn't important. It's just, I've got to get it done. So I do my magic spell. Next day I go to work. So as I'm there, this woman comes up. She wants to buy a pair of gold hoop earrings.
Well, it says, always yourself guilty for the way your move. God is real, devil is real, all elements are real. I am German from Stuttgart. Wizards are here too, inside churches, inside German. Greed is real. Well, thanks for telling us a bit about yourself. Agreed. Absolutely. God's absolutely real, devil's absolutely real. But we know who wins. We know the end story, don't we? You seem like a cool person to me, so you can wear blue. You can wear blue. There you go, Mr. Ralph. Bless you, man.
And she describes them to me, and I present her with the pair. She tries them on. She's like, these are perfect. I'm just about to close the deal. And she says, actually, I'm shopping with my daughter. When I'm done, I'll come back and I'll buy these. Now, I've been doing this retail thing now for Sunglass Hut was about 1.5 years. Finish Line was 11 months. Now here, I've been here.
Ralph's blue dabbin-dee, dabbin-do, dabbin-dee, blue dabbin-dee, dabbin-do. Is that what you're on about, Sandra? Second time I've sung it. What's going on, man? Craziness.
Here for over 1 year. I know that when a woman says, I'm going to go shop, I'm shopping with my daughter, I'm going to go blah, 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 and I'll buy the one and come back. What she means is that she's going to go find them cheaper someplace else. But this woman has an honest face. when she said that, I knew she was telling me the truth. She was going to come back.
So she goes around the mall, and then minutes or hours later, she comes back.
3 hours later, she comes back. And now we're doing the transaction. And we do the deal. And we finish. And I've got her cash, and she's got my gold earrings. They're in the little bag with the receipt. Well, they're in the little bag. And I bring the receipt over there. And I say, there's an 800 number on this receipt. If you call that and take a survey, you might win $1,000. She goes, that's great. I've got something for you too. Oh no. Because what I'm expecting her to do is to pull out a Jack Chick pamphlet, tell me that I'm sinning, and to drop to my knees and beg for forgiveness. All the things I can't do because I sold my soul to the devil when I was 13. So instead of a Jack Chick pamphlet, she pulled out this cheap gold-colored piece of tin. This thing was so cheap that if you had a Pepsi can, you could have probably made 1,000 of them with the Pepsi can. And I'm looking at that. No one's ever handed me jewelry. I'm always handing it out. And, I sell fine jewelry. Piercing Pagoda is owned by Zales. So, it's owned by a decent jewelry store. I recognize cheap. What she's holding is cheap. And then she says the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life. She said, the Blessed Mother is calling you into her army. And I'm thinking, Blessed Mother, Isis, Gaia. I grew up Baptist. Do you know how many names we have for Mary?
One, it's Mary.
Right. Now we have her name, Mary, but we have no titles. So no titles, one name of Mary.
Okay, so pretty much nothing about Mary, and this lady comes up, which, mind you, you don't know her at all. She doesn't know you. She comes up and she says, the Blessed Mother has called you into her army. And then I imagine you're super confused. And what happens after?
And then she says it's very powerful. Well, I know Protestants don't bless anything. So this woman's got to represent some female deity.
He must have turned into a Catholic, I think.
Cult.
I don't know.
I'm not interested. I've come from a couple of big covens. Her coven might be connected to mine, so I'm not interested in joining that. And I just kind of tune her out. I just go to my happy place. And then eventually I realize, she's got my gold. I've got her money. She made my day financially. This was win-win.
Don't believe you, Sandra. Not one little bit.
For both of us. Why is she still talking to me? So I tune her back in. And she says it's very powerful. No. See, now I'm taking this as she's challenging me. I'm the High Wizard. There's between 2 and 5 of us in the world. But the number could be as low as 1 or as high as 10. That means at one point, I might have been the only one High Wizard out of 7 billion people. That, my friend, is a power trip and a half.
7 billion. So they say. So they say. You don't know how many people on the earth there is.
Babe,
Yes.
the computer keeps coming up with this thing saying it's going to test it or something.
Test what?
It's malware or spyware or something.
Oh, just click off it. It's just click the thing in the corner.
All right.
And you're trying to tell me this blessed, miraculous metal can touch me.
So it triggers your ego when she says this is powerful, and now you saw this as just a piece of something that's not worth anything, but all of a sudden now you feel challenged, so you're up for it, and you want to show her that you really are the High Wizard.
She is kicking me in the ego, and I'm here to tell her there's no power to this. There's no mystique here. I stick my hand out for it, and she's all happy because I'm willing to take it.
Roger.
Yes. PJ.
How you doing, Sam?
Oh, beautiful. Just woke up.
Just woke up a bit. I take it you were here at 8:30 this morning and I wasn't on.
It said you were supposed to be there.
No, 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. I did change it, because I've thought about it. Remember, I did the first half of this before, and it talked about them type of things and that really graphic stuff. So I thought,
Yeah.
it can't be too early for that. I'll do it in the afternoon, so I changed it to. So I think, yeah. We're about. Well, we've got about 20, maybe 25 minutes left of this one, and it's done. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man. You all right? Good.
Yeah, I'm fine. Wide awake.
You know this. You know the score. Give me a shout. We need to talk. Groovy.
Okay. Is
Now
Miss
my
B here?
plans are
Vicky.
Vicky, yeah, just me and Vicky. That's it. In chat, yeah, that's it. But Vicky's doing housework, so you might not hear her a lot. But she just said hello.
Well, when she gets done there, she can swing by here and take care of the bathroom and the kitchen too. I'm just kidding.
There you go, baby. You need to take a flight.
I'll get going. Here's the ticket and a passport. I ain't even got a passport.
No, man.
You'll have to
You need it
to the country.
Smuggle you in.
That's it.
Nice. You need a vacation, Vic. So
You need
come
to
to
be
America.
America scares me though.
Vacation's a weird word, isn't it? We're not used to
We
vacation.
say holiday.
Yeah, holiday.
Yeah, I know.
Going on holiday. No, America scares me only because of the guns. Because we don't really have them.
When you say hiatus, is that a holiday as well?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, usually.
But is it a holiday from work or is it a holiday specific? Is that
people
specific, like a holiday from work? Or
no, when they use it here, it's just stopping what you're doing for a while. It's a hiatus.
Right, got you.
Americans.
Yeah, you got some mud words. But the way you spell words, I would say that, like some of the word, I mean the way the word color, COLOUR here, but you spell it OR. I mean, the way I say it, like where I'm from, color. I mean, I would actually spell it CULLER. Color. That's how it would be. But I mean, the way you spell it, as opposed to the way the English spell it, it looks better the way you spell it, because the way it's spelled here is like Kolawa, and so color is better than Kolawa. You know what I mean? Same as neighbor.
I got you.
It's better than neighbor. But yeah, I think the way you spell it is probably more how it sounds than how the English spell. It's only not many words. There's a few words, you know.
That's because they mix it with every other language over here.
Of course. Anyway.
Dutch.
I'm going to toss it on my floor, or I'm going to slam it on my counter. Because at that time, I could feel something and tell you, your friend put a death spell on this. This has an order of protection on it. Your friend bought this in Goodwill, made up a fun story, but it's not true. So I figured I would feel of it, tell her, nah, there's nothing in this. This isn't powerful. There's nothing here. And then, like I said, I'm going to slam it on my counter or toss it on my floor. And I don't care if she gets mad at me. I don't care if she returns the jewelry and gets her money back. Now, I'm all ready to tell her this stuff, except when I clenched it with my fist, my store and my mall completely disappeared. Everything's gone. This woman is gone. I'm standing in a.
I played Flax's video at the start, the challenge to the Dell cards, to the Dell followers. But I think he was already live when I started going live. So I think his title had Flax in it. So well, Sandro was there anyway. So I think he'd already answered it. You know what I mean? I think he was already answering it. But anyway, I played it.
No, I've watched it yesterday.
I wonder what Dell says. Sandro knows. We'll see later. I'm sure Flax will show us it later, right? I'm sure Flax has got to have a look at it later. So.
A darkened void.
Let's see.
My feet are not touching the floor. And this woman that bought the earrings, I can still hear her voice. And she tells me about the magic spell I did last night. And that's of the devil. And I've split over 100 churches. And that's of the devil. And I've committed over 100 abortions. And that's of the devil. And she tells me about 8 or 9 other sins. And everything ends with, and that's of the devil. I might have been the only one high wizard.
There's Jeff. Bless you, man. Thanks for coming, dude. And everybody go listen to Jeff Conkel's readings of Joshua. And Enoch. He's done Enoch now, Book of Enoch. He's now on Joshua. Probably about his third one in, I think. Maybe fourth one in. So fourth episode in. I don't mean fourth book or anything like that, you know. So go watch Jeff Conkel's stuff. Really good, man.
I agree.
Fantastic.
In the whole world, out of 7 billion people. And I did not.
Part 5 he's on with Joshua. Wow, part 5 already. Wow.
Nice.
Put the link in for part 4 in, Jeff, before you leave. And if not, I'll go and do it.
He's going to do Jubilees after this, isn't he?
Yeah, of course.
Power to hand somebody a worthless gold-colored piece of tin, transport both of us to a darkened void, and know all their sins. Her magic is stronger than my magic. I'm also thinking about letting go, just dropping the metal. But what happens if I drop it?
I just realized this one happens to be about Illuminati, stuff like that, and Masons, and that I've just been mentioning and stuff. And it's my 33rd episode of Afternoon Coffee.
You didn't plan that out.
I did not plan that. I really didn't. It was meant to be on this. It was meant to be on this morning, wasn't it? Which was my 28th episode of Morning Coffee. So it wasn't meant to be the 33rd episode.
I got a question for you. What is that little black guy hanging on the edge over there? You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird looking.
What?
Yeah, look on to his. Let's see, that would be on his right hand side or left hand side. Yeah.
His left, our right, isn't it?
Yeah. See that little guy, the black thing that's hanging down.
From where?
At the side of him, it looks like a little black metal man or something.
Yeah.
What?
His arms hanging. He's hanging by one hand, like he's gonna fall.
Aye.
Weird.
What in this video?
Yeah.
What? I really don't. I don't know what you're on about.
Vicky can see it.
Our right on the thing. Right.
Yeah.
Just it looks like a man hanging.
What here? Right at the edge of from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
Yous are on your phones, isn't you?
No, I'm on the left.
I'm on the phone.
Hanging. All you can see is like the wall, a bracket on the wall, then something that's on like the black trim from the printer.
Look like
a printer or a scanner or whatever machine that is. A machine of some sort. There's no man hanging.
Yeah, but there is. It looks like it.
It does.
But what? Where?
On the white thing.
Yeah.
No, it's not. That's the black trim. All this here, all that black, you can't see me pointing because it's my cursor because I'm doing it from within the studio. If I was doing it on a tab, you see it.
Yeah, I see what he's saying, but it does look like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is a trim. This is just black trim from the machine. That well, it's hard to explain it. But in level with his shoulder, if you go right to the white machine, the black trim, that's the handle. And then to the right of the handle, you've got the trim going down the way, and then an angle to the right that might look like a hangman's noose, and then a hangman's head, and then yeah, I'll continue on about it. But yeah, if you look at it's just the trim. You must be looking through your phone.
I am.
Yeah.
That's a strange looking though. It does when you first look at it.
And when you're on about, I think I'm looking for stuff hanging down from the ceiling.
What are you talking about?
Like, well, that's just the trim of that bloody machine. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
My dad. Huh.
Yeah. Thanks.
And then I just fall through the darkened void and can't find my way back to my mall, back to my store. I don't know what to do. I'm about to shoot into a full-blown panic. I don't have anxiety at this time, but I'm about to. I don't know what to do. I am sweating. I am scared. Her magic is stronger than mine. I don't know what this thing is. I don't know what's happening to me. And she says again, Blessed Mother is calling you into her army. And like a grace from the Holy Spirit, I instantly know
Blessed Mother.
that's the Mother of God, which is a very strange revelation for a former Baptist to have.
Definitely.
We would rather shoot ourselves in the face with a shotgun than say Mother of God. And as soon as I realized it was the Mother of God, Mary showed up.
So he must have turned into a Catholic then. I thought this was meant to be about him turning from to proper Christianity, not Catholicism. Unless he's in one of them little Catholic-y kind of type churches. They say it's like a Christian, like sort of Methodist type church, but it's got Catholic doctrine. Weird.
This was the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in my life. And she smiled at me. And it was a smile I knew I did not deserve. I was acutely aware.
I did say earlier on that he's probably Catholic after he said there were a few comments. I mean, especially with he's got a rosary around his neck for a start. You know what I mean? He's got the beads and that there. To start off with, I was thinking it's maybe not a rosary, maybe it's just beads and a decorative thing. But because his cross isn't turned round, you can't see that it's a crucifix. It's probably got Jesus on the other side. At the way that is, it's flat. So it's probably got Jesus on the other side. If I'd seen that it had Jesus on it, I definitely would have known it was a rosary. You know?
Yeah, I've seen rosaries with the Christ and not Christ too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. But you get jail rosaries as well. You get your plastic ones and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, no. When he started saying about when the abortions didn't work, the three that didn't work outside the clinic when the clinic where he was doing the thing, they were praying outside the clinic in Mary and all that when they were saying about the Blessed Mother. And yeah, I kind of thought he maybe turned into a Catholic. The title of this, it doesn't say Catholic, it says Christian. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll give his testimony, but as for converting to Catholicism, I wouldn't do. That's for sure.
Yeah, my grandmother was a big fan of St. Francis, and she gave me the little medallions. I wore a St. Francis medallion for years.
Aye. Got you.
She was Irish too, so.
Oh, they love those
things. I think I have one of them in my jewelry box.
Ooh, don't be wearing it.
No, I don't wear it. No, but I've had it since I was a kid. Aye, it is. I think it is a Catholic thing, isn't it?
I mean, as a kid, I think all of us have had a St. Christopher. You know what I mean? But that was nothing to do with religious purposes. It was more, we like St. Christopher, patron saint of travelling, that type of thing. So I never thought of it as a religious thing. I didn't think of it at all. I just thought, oh, I like that St. Christopher.
The St. Francis he had birds in it, because I think he was known for.
Got you.
Yeah, I don't know why birds were a big thing. They like what St. Patrick was known for snakes.
Aye. Mm-hmm.
They gave like an animal to it too. Yeah.
That's it.
Hey Barbara, how are you doing today? What did she say?
Barbara's been here from pretty much near the start. Well, about 15 minutes in.
Oh, nice.
I was like, well, it's quite late. Barbara be here. She stayed up especially.
Just for you, PJ.
Just for us. Yeah.
Of my 146 assisted abortions.
Esther was first.
I never said that Esther wasn't. I says Barbara was within 15 minutes. Yeah.
Aye.
Esther was first. By the way, Esther got here first. In chat, anyway, in chat this afternoon.
Well, no, technically Roger at 8:30 this morning. But
yeah, that was live. I mean, that's this afternoon. There was other people watching, but Esther was first to chat. Absolutely.
And she took me by the hand that had the metal in it. And she turned me around, leading me to her son, Divine Mercy Jesus. I didn't know what Divine Mercy was. I've got these rays of light shooting under me and over me and through me. And then
Chocolate fell asleep on our night watch.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So no prayer walks for you.
instant, I realized I did not sell my soul to the devil when I was 13.
You can't. It's a lie. How can you sell your soul to the devil when it's not yours to sell? There you go, son.
I don't sell my soul. Nobody.
Oh no, I know you don't, but he did. Because he was
shame on him.
Yeah. Obviously, he thought he couldn't be saved because he sold his soul already. He says, well,
should we read Esther's comment? First, where's my high five and special guest? Hi.
I don't get, because I'm not monetized, I don't get any special emojis and all that. You know what I mean? So I'll conjure up a normal high five for you.
I realized that Jesus Christ was my Lord and Savior. I realized that all my magic, my New Age, my occult, my Satanism was false. And I realized everything Catholic was truth.
Ooh. Ooh.
And the Blessed Mother told me my job was to help her end abortion.
Huh?
And I opened my hand. And I'm back in my store, back in my mall. This woman, Marianne.
He was about to say, almost false. AF. False AF. As, yes, no. What he said there about Catholic being the truth. No. Jesus Christ is the truth. Catholic, no. Catholicism is not the truth. Far from it. I mean, look how blasphemous the Pope is. He's the only, not even representative, he's the only in place of person, Jesus on earth. So he says he's God basically, because he represents Jesus. He's in place of Jesus. That makes him God. That's blasphemous.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Our new Pope is really scary, dude.
Yeah, well,
have you seen?
He's not our Pope. He's just
no, he is like proper. Like I thought the last one was, but this one's even worse. And can I ask, right? Why do they get really old men to be a Pope? Why don't they get a young Pope? Because like that one's going around in a wheelchair and stuff.
Yeah. Now that I know that he's a Catholic, now that I know for sure he's Catholic, I quite believe the rest of his testimony is bullcrap. He might have been an Illuminati and all that kind of stuff, but he might not have been in the story it was made up to glorify Catholicism. I don't know. Or he might have been. And Catholicism might have got him out of it, but he's not saved because of Catholicism. He's not saved at all. If that's where he came from, right, being a Baptist, which he wasn't being a Baptist, he was from a Baptist family, didn't make the choice, to being in the Illuminati, to be in the coven in the Illuminati, High Wizard and all that, doing all them things, to come into Catholicism, I don't think he's saved yet.
No.
I don't think he's saved. If this story is true, I don't know if it's true. Now I know it's about a Catholic. I do not know.
Dancer Vicky, though, like back in the day, like Pope Pius and before that, the popes weren't that old. They were fairly young.
No.
Compared to what they are now.
Like as a kid, I went to Catholic school and Irish Catholic family, and like the Pope, you used to see pictures of John Paul II everywhere, like at school, at home, like everywhere. And as a kid, because you're brought up now, you do look up to these people. And you do, because that's the way you've been brought up. But it is quite scary, isn't it? Now, when you look back and you go, like this Pope here, the new one, he was a nightclub bouncer.
Wow.
Like, do you know what I mean? So
I dare say this is not a true story. I dare say it's not. I mean, it might be, but if it is a true story, he's not saved yet.
And now PJ's having second thoughts about this guy.
It might have got him out of, if it's a true story, it might have got him out of it, but he hasn't been saved. If he's gone straight into Catholicism, he hasn't been saved. Because that was one of the first things he said was Blessed Mother. So he hasn't been saved.
No.
I don't think he knows the Father, because he doesn't know the Son.
And just to say, Vicky, everybody liked Paul II. He was a good pope.
Yeah, I remember, like, as a kid, I thought he was a relative or something. You know, when I was little, because everyone had a picture of him, and like everyone had crucifixes.
Everybody had a picture of Princess Diana and Charles's wedding. So, like, do you not think they were relatives as well?
No, like as a kid, like I went to a convent school, so my headmistress was a nun. And we had the convent was next to our school, and like we shared a garden and that. And I remember being a kid, and because the church and the convent were like at the back of us, if they'd have a funeral for a nun or one of the priests, they'd take the coffin across the top of our playground to their little cemetery, and we'd all have to stop. Like little kids in the playground would have to stop and be quiet while they took this coffin past.
Right.
And it was just weird. Like I remember going in.
That is.
I remember going into the convent as a kid, and like their rooms were so basic, like a crucifix, a bed, a wardrobe, and maybe a desk.
Minimum.
But literally nothing, like nothing personal, nothing. It was just, and like the nun who did my prayer group, Sister Mary Lawrence, her husband died, and then she became a nun.
No, of course she's not God's wife or mother. She was just a mother. She was just a woman chosen by God and impregnated by the Holy Spirit. You know what I mean? She was privileged to have Jesus in her body, but she is not of deity. She is not of God herself. No. You might revere her to a certain extent, but never idolize her. Never idolize her.
No, it is like very much like as soon as you get to the front of the church I went to, at the top of it is a statue of Mary right in the middle. And then you walk in and there's a hanging crucifix with Jesus on it, but just before the altar, hanging on the ceiling. And it's just very, when you look back at it, it's quite strange that these things were there.
Of course. And then, so just said Jesus is God, not Mary. If Mary is biological mother, then that mother and God has a mother. Exactly, dude. I say the same myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that from plenty of folk. That's the way.
Well, it's not mother of God. It's not mother of God. Yeah. She was mother of Jesus, not mother of the Father. That's for sure.
But
there is no mother of God.
But see, my favourite song is Ave Maria, which is Hail Mary.
I know, it's just a song. Right.
was still talking to me.
I don't know if it's, like I say, because of the Catholics. I don't know if it's true, but could have started, I'm going to finish it. I don't know how true it is.
You almost don't want to finish
true,
it, do
I
you,
would
PJ?
say possibly there's a possibility he's not saved.
She tells me where she goes to mass, gives me the address, and she tells me that she's Father Joseph Whalen's personal assistant, and he's the busiest priest she knows. He doesn't even have time to talk to her, and she's the personal assistant. And while she's standing there, her phone rings. She looks at it. She goes, "This is Father Joe. I've got to take this." So, yeah, you just explained all that. Go ahead. So at that time, Father Joe was starting to go deaf. So he talked like everybody was going deaf. And she's like, "Hello, Father Joe. What can I help you with? Can you hand the phone to the young man you're talking to?" "Certainly." So she hands me the phone. I'm shaking like Ozzy Osbourne. I'm like, "Hello? Welcome to the faith. Hand the phone back to Marianne." But hand the phone back to Marianne. He hangs up on her. Then her daughter comes up to the counter. She said, "Can you bring this man one of each of everything?" So her daughter disappears. Then we get 2 more phone calls like the one from Father Joe. Then the daughter comes back in with a paper grocery bag. It's got a bunch of pamphlets. Why do Catholics believe this or do that? A Catholic Bible. And like 125 Lighthouse Catholic media discs. And then when I got home that day,
He believes he's saved by works. You know, you can't be saved by works. Saved by grace. You know what I mean? And grace, what is it? It's our unmerited favor. God's unmerited favor upon us. Unmerited means you don't have to work for salvation. It says unmerited favor on us.
I was currently recently married, and my wife had been a disfellowship Jehovah's Witness.
Woohoo!
And I walked in the door and I was like, "Hey, honey, guess what? I'm Catholic now." And she said, "Of all the things you could possibly be, why?"
He's Catholic. Woohoo!
Yeah.
No. No. Jesus is the truth, not Catholicism. He said it earlier on, Catholicism is the truth. He didn't say Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
The word.
Yeah. You heard his wife's reaction. She's like, "Of all the things you can come home and say, you know."
Aye.
Why would you do that? But the next day, I started going to daily mass. And I brought my wife with me.
So from one religion to the next religion. From one cult to the next.
One. Yeah.
From one Satan to the same Satan.
Right out of the frying pan and right into the fire. Yeah.
Right, exactly. From the frying pan into the fire, into the fiery pit. Into the sulfur.
Yeah.
Where flames cannot be quenched.
God bless the Holy Father.
Never consumed. All burnt.
And now my ex-wife, by the way. And
that's because Catholic.
At the consecration.
Catholic, and now my ex-wife, by the way. You know, no doubt.
Yeah.
He probably divorced you, actually, if she was Baptist. Right.
Baptist, the
Catholic,
Catholics
are allowed to keep. A lot of Catholics are allowed to keep divorcing, even though it says, even though they're dead against it, they're allowed to keep divorcing. They keep doing it and not, don't they? So, yeah, why not? Why not? You're allowed a certificate of divorce as many times as you want, Mr. Catholic man.
Of course, yeah, it doesn't matter, right?
No.
And I saw Jesus. I thought everybody in that room saw the same thing. I thought if you were Catholic.
Do you know, I was excited to hear how he come to Jesus when I first heard the story. I mean, going through since last week, you know, in the first video that didn't have a clue he was a Catholic to start off with, totally pretty much the beginning of this one. And then I was looking forward to hearing how he come to Jesus, and now I hear he didn't. you come to Catholicism.
Oh, Jesus.
False Jesus, should I say. First, and then Catholicism.
Because that's the first time you go to a Catholic church, so you just assume that this is normal.
Yeah, this is normal. And I was like, do you see that? She's like, what? I said, that man up there on the stage. She goes, that's the priest. No, the other guy. She goes, there is no other guy. Look, you don't see it because you're not Catholic. Because I thought, given that medal, I was instantly Catholic. And I thought that everybody in that room was Catholic, saw Jesus.
Also, I think it's important to mention that for you, you had been in the occult, you had been in Satanism for a while. You
Hey,
were
PJ.
used to supernatural things.
Aye.
I gotta say that's a load of hockey, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think you're right. He's probably lying about half of this stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's probably a Catholic hit, not a hit piece on Catholic, but a hit piece by Catholics maybe. Yeah,
Well,
it's maybe tried
they're
to
recruiting.
glorify Catholicism. I don't know. I dare say a lot of it's lies. I dare say he probably been in some kind of coven, something like that. You know, he maybe wasn't high priest or whatever. He was a, I don't know. He maybe come from some kind of cult, but a lot of it's, I think, made. Now I know it's Catholic outcome. He doesn't know the truth. I dare say half of it's hockeys.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Oh.
like I say, there's only what 20 minutes left. Might as well finish.
Right.
So it's not like something crazy that you've never seen.
Testimony I'll do. I'll make sure I know it's not. It's a testimony of Christ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's what it said. Christian. You know, I just forget that on the umbrella term, so is Catholicism, so is Catholics, they're Christians under the umbrella term of Christianity, I suppose. You know, so.
Yeah, well, they say it's the biggest religion on earth.
Well,
right?
of course.
Yeah.
Religion being the operative word.
Yeah.
Never seen this before, but you've seen supernatural stuff, so you're not weirded out by it. And I guess it's become so normal to you that you assume that, you know, every Catholic sees the same thing.
Right. You know, to me, it was the best kept secret from me ever. Like, had I known that the body, blood, soul, and divinity of our Lord Jesus Christ was legitimately in the Catholic Church, I'd have went in there as a child and couldn't have drugged me out. You know, I found out that there was a place called Perpetual Adoration where you could go see Jesus anytime you wanted. And I said, is there a sign-up sheet for that? Do I have to add my name to a list, and then 5 years from now when my name comes up, then I have a 4-day window and I have 3 hours I can go in and see him. And then if I want to see him again, I got to sign up again. How does that work? And they're like, no, you just go. I'm like, no. There's a line to get in to see Elvis, and he's been dead over 40 years. You know, and they're like, no, you just show up. So shock number one, we were the only other car in the parking lot. Shock number two.
It's a testimony it's someone's testimony. No Salima, no Kalima. Who are you? Because you said what the heck is this, and the next one was whatever that means. Did you have a seizure while writing something?
The account 6 months old. There's no subs, nothing.
I know that it's probably an anti-flat earther or a heckler of some sort, a heckler of God, a mocker of God maybe. Which, you know, some of it, God can't be mocked. It's weird that, you know.
I think Esther's
been
been
mocked if you want, but
babe.
What?
Look what Esther, but I think she's been watching CSI or something because they play that song, don't they?
What
know the song.
What song?
Who are you? Ooh, ooh.
Oh, right. Who are you? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, is that what? I get what it's saying. I get you.
Isn't it?
I get it.
Guess, that's the Guess Who, the band, right?
Yeah.
The Who.
Yeah.
The Who.
Not the Guess Who. The Who.
No.
I could see why Sandro held your message for review because he didn't want me to try and pronounce it because it's to pronounce that whatever it says. Lolo, you have to twist your neck. You know what I mean? And force your tongue halfway down your throat. Anyway, I hope you get better soon. Anyway, hope you get better soon. Praise God. Whoever that was.
Oh, right.
No, I have no idea.
No line to get in. No, you're trying to tell me that I'm going to go see God in this room, in this chapel that's only big enough to hold 20 people. That should be bigger than a rock star stadium. Giant rock stars, that it takes forever to fill the stadium and empty it. Why isn't it the same thing? We're going to go see God. Isn't he bigger than any rock star? He's bigger than the biggest rock stars. Why are we not filling stadiums to go see him?
Yeah. And little do you know is that most people that go there don't see anything. But when you went there the first time, that was different for you.
So then we open the door.
Good to see you, Crockett. Good to see you.
Yes, Crockett. How you doing?
Oh, you just had some carrot cake. Nice. Nice, very nice.
I like carrot cake.
Me too. It's really sickly though. I can only have like one.
I can't eat it.
Can't you?
Sickly. Oh, I can't. It's heavy and sickly. I can only have a little bit.
No, I love
but it is my favourite type of cake, I suppose.
I'm not a big lover of carrots though, but I do love carrot cake.
You're like my ex. She loves that stuff. She loves the carrot cake. She likes the raisins in it.
Yeah. The dog wanted some. The dog wanted some, but dogs can't have raisins, so she couldn't have any.
Huh? How about that ball? Is she still like looking for it?
No.
Deep Purple. When I was a kid, all the heavy metal dudes, all the rockers, and that went about with the denim jackets, leather jackets, and denim jackets. They had the Deep Purple patches. That just reminded me. Deep Purple. I might have listened to Deep Purple a little bit when I was a kid. I like Deep Purple.
Mate,
yeah, go ahead.
You know the bull thing?
Yeah.
The what thing?
The dog and the bull and all that palaver when she thought the bull was a baby, yeah. I went in the cupboard, not yesterday, day before, to get my pegs out to put my washing on the line.
Right.
And there's about 10 bulls in there. And then they fell on me. And she sits, because she follows me everywhere, don't she?
Mm-hmm.
Even when I go for a wee, she follows me. Like, it's weird. And I was like, please do not knock the bulls out of the cupboard because she will go mad. But at some point, when you're here, I think we're going to have to put them in the bin.
Mm-hmm.
Because she can't see you do it.
No, of course. She's a weirdo.
She gets it from you.
Weird dog.
She gets it from you.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, she's not of my seed.
No, but you hand fed her as a puppy.
No, I didn't hand feed her. I hand breathed her. I did. I know I did hand feed her as well.
Now I had a couple of puppies like that. We had Pomeranians and poodles. They were a cross mix.
Yeah.
And I had their mother got ran over, and I had pups. They were like 2-3 weeks old, and I had to use formula and feed them.
Yeah. It's hard work, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I
was working 2 jobs at the time, and when I get home, I'd be dead tired, and everybody look at me and hand me the bottle, like, time to feed the puppies. So like I get like, no, I don't want to do it, but yeah.
So everyone's got to set their alarm to get up to feed the puppy at a certain time.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. Like when we had her, because my knees, because I've got psoriatic arthritis, my knees were really swollen. They were full of fluid. So I struggled to walk. So we had to have the whelping box in the bedroom. And I'd lay on the floor with my hand in the whelping box, wouldn't I? Just so she weren't on her own, because her mum rejected her. She didn't want her.
Oh, so like she's a runt.
Well, she was the runt, weren't she?
Yeah.
But like I used to,
The mum didn't want any of them.
nah, she killed one of them.
Mm.
When she was giving birth, the first puppy got stuck, and we had to rush her to the vet for an emergency cesarean, and it cost like £1,100.
Wow.
And I was like, "Didn't you spay her while you're there? Do you know what I mean? Then it's done."
Yeah.
But no, she was the only girl I ever had. All the puppies she ever had were boys, apart from Minnie. Minnie was the only girl, and the last puppy that ever lived from her.
Oh, that was
Joe
meant
Cocker.
for you.
Joe Cocker with his air guitar. The only guy that played guitar that didn't have a guitar. Joe Cocker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Played air guitar, didn't he? Yeah.
Because
Joe Cocker was a good magician. Oh, sorry.
He didn't play guitar, did he?
No.
No, he just air guitar. Yeah. What the?
I want to explain about the dog.
Well, then.
Yeah.
So I had her mum and dad, and I used to breed them before, like my health problems and that. And we weren't meant to keep her, but PJ, because we hadn't fed her, we had to keep her, didn't we? And my mum evicted me, and I was put in temporary accommodation, and I had 3 dogs, and the housing made me get rid of 2 of the dogs. And how do you choose between your dogs? You can't. But for me, Minnie was the one that we hand fed from birth, and she's part of both of them. So in a way, they're still both here. But they went on to loving homes and that, and they're really good. But yeah, so it is hard, and circumstances change, and it changes everything. And yeah, like, but I've got Moo, and that's all. Well, I've got PJ. And,
I got second to the dog.
No, but I live with the dog. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Dog.
Now you know why she follows you around everywhere you go. Your mom.
I know, but it's so bad. Like, even I've got a king size bed, and I only sleep on one side of my bed because PJ's got his side and I've got mine. And she will take up the whole bed. She can take up the whole bed by laying across it. And she's only little. But then she'll have to come and snuggle into my head or something. And I'm like, oh, that room, you've got your own bed, there's sofa, chairs. She could go anywhere. But no, has to be right next to me.
No, I don't. If I had my way, I wouldn't even let her on the bed.
I know, but she was a baby.
And it's Vicky's
baby.
Oh, baby. She still is.
She is, though.
Even though she's like in her 20s now. You know what I mean?
No, she's not. She's 4.
Yeah, that means she's 20 odd. 20.
Well, they count it at 7. Yeah.
7 years, so she's 28.
She's not.
She's 28 years old, baby.
But I think because when her mum and dad went, it was just me and her. And then we moved here, and my neighbour across the back has got a white dog. She's got a West Highland white. And Minnie was like really attached to him. Like, she'd hear him and she'd go mad and run out. And like, she's been over there and played and that, but I think he died because I haven't heard him. And I haven't seen Margaret, so I think he might be dead.
Maybe. Maybe.
So no dog.
So I'll get on with this so I can get this lying piece of crap done.
Aye.
Yeah.
My wife, Jesus, and this woman. And then she says, you can't leave till
You've never seen Jesus, dude. You've seen a demonic image. A demonic, not image, spectre.
someone else comes in. And bam, she's out the door. I'm like, why would I leave? I'm in a room with Jesus. So I'm sitting there anywhere from 30 minutes
Demonic spectre posing as Jesus. Yeah, right.
to 18 hours a day. And I tell people the most peaceful sleep I've ever had in my life was falling asleep in adoration. I was asleep one night. I was working long hours, and I went in there, and no one showed up for the next shift. I don't care. Don't show up. I'll stay. So I stay, and then I stay for another hour. Now, I haven't been to sleep in over 24 hours, and I'm starting to fall asleep. I'm nodding off. And I told Jesus I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want someone to come in and I'm snoring. Could you help me to stay awake? Well, as luck would have it, I fell asleep. I'm out. And somebody's poking me in the shoulder, telling me, hey, wake up. And I'm kind of mad at myself because I got caught. And I opened my eyes, and Jesus is standing there.
No, he's not.
And the front door.
No, he wasn't. Demonic spectre. Posing as Jesus.
So the building is opening up. And then the chapel door opens up. And then this woman walks in.
So he woke you up before anybody came in and you didn't get caught snoring. That's fascinating. And I have a lot of questions, obviously. Your experience is unlike anybody that I've ever heard. So I have a hard...
Say again, Roger.
I said I got a lot of questions for him too. I'm sure he ain't got no answers for it.
Yeah, sorry.
No, Cookie Monster's in.
I know. I'll let him in.
Why would you let him in, man? I'm telling you.
I know. I should have just left him at the back door knocking, didn't I? Yeah. I knew we'd finished anyway, didn't we? See the end of the guy's testimony, dude. But we just found out that, he wasn't. He didn't become a Christian. He become a Catholic. So,
we're all born Catholics,
Yeah. So we're just watching the end of it, just because we started it.
Hard time conceptualizing in my head how all this can happen, but I look at your story and what happened and who you were and who you became, and I'm just blown away, and I can't deny your experience. So I have to kind of wrestle that and how's that even possible? How is...
I can deny it because he said Catholicism is the truth. Catholics, Catholicism is the truth. He didn't say Jesus or the word was the truth. He said Catholics of the truth is the truth. He didn't say Jesus is the truth.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you an odd story about the Catholics right quick. It's a real short one. And every diocese and every parish, they actually put this little round piece of concrete in the altars. They claim that it has the bones from the original disciples. And
I remember that.
Yeah, it's weird, dude.
I've tried to say that to you before. Remember when I said apparently there's some dead in the altar? Because when you're a Catholic kid, they tell you this stuff.
Yeah, it tries to scare you, or you're in awe. The saints are in the altar.
Yeah.
Exactly, Barbara. Trading one demon for another. That's what I said. From one religion to the next religion. From one cult to the next cult. From one Satan to the same Satan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, let's get
is Jesus in every single church at the same time? How does that work? I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Protestants believe the Spirit of God is everywhere. That's at the same time.
That's true.
He's not just in my house. He's also in your house. He's also outside. He's also in the Baptist church and the Presbyterian church and all the other 66,000 Protestant denominations all at the same time. So if the Spirit of God can be everywhere at the same time, Jesus can be in all the Catholic churches.
That logic seems to line up. So let's move on to other questions, because I have questions about your conversion because of who you used to be and how intense it was, and your conversion was as intense, I would say, as the stuff you used to do before. But since you were involved in so much Satanism and so much witchcraft, I would imagine that you faced some pretty serious spiritual attacks once you became a Christian. Do you have any examples of that, or is that
became a Catholic.
That's something that you had to wrestle with.
We were on tour, I think it was around 2011 or 12, and I was in a hotel. My wife back then was King. She saw a vision in 2015 or 16 where Hillary was going to win and she was going to kick the Catholic Church out of the United States, and she was going to arrest all the Catholics and lock us up in FEMA camps. And then
Yeah, not happening. Not happening.
FEMA
That's so
camp?
full of
What's that?
crud, man. Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
I was wondering how much paint thinner he's been touching.
Oh, wow. I mean, the Catholics may put other people in FEMA prison. Was it FEMA prisons?
FEMA camps.
FEMA camps. But not blood. I can't believe that. Certainly not the higher ups, that's for sure. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. How powerful the bloody Pope is and all that, and they're saying that again. Yeah, they're going to get overthrown. No, I don't think so.
Murder all of us. And she said, "You're outspoken. You'll be at the front of the line to be martyred." I'm like, sign me up.
He gave his testimony how he came out of the Illuminati. You mean how you came from the pretend Illuminati to the Illuminati?
The real one.
And, she says, "I'm not willing to be martyred." So she separated herself from me and the ministry. And so she divorced me because she didn't want to die a martyr. I really wanted to call her the day.
No, can't die. Martyr. You're not getting sainthood.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. The saints have gone. There were 12 of them.
And they just make up new ones all the time, don't they?
Exactly. Right up until now, yeah. I mean, they've even got apostles and everything now. It's just ridiculous.
After the election and ask how she felt about that. Because obviously you weren't shown the vision by God, because God knows the future.
Right.
Who showed you that vision? And who did you believe instead of God?
So you're saying that was a spiritual attack to get your wife away from you.
Yes.
So that's one of the ways that you were attacked. Anything else that you can recount?
We were staying in this hotel in 2011 or 12. So I wear a pretty big crucifix, and it pulled off of my chest.
Hey, babe, it was good to see you. It was a testimony of a guy who came from. He was a high wizard, and in this he started off in a coven and all that. From him being a kid, he became a high wizard. Was in the Illuminati and all that. And I thought it was like a testimony of Christianity, because that's what it says. Became a Christian and all that. I've watched a whole hour and a half a video beforehand of him. This is the second video, and like about a quarter of the way in, realize he's come to Catholicism, not to the Lord, not to Jesus. He said Catholics are the truth. You know what I mean? He didn't say Jesus is the truth. He said Catholics. He didn't say the Lord is the truth. He said Catholics. So he's a Catholic. So I dare say it's all bollocks. Or if his story if it is true, then he's just gone from one religion to the next religion, from one cult to the next cult, from Satan to Satan. You know, or he's talking bollocks. But to begin with, it sounded like a brilliant testimony. Till the point, I mean, I would start to get clues early on, but it's definitely been confirmed now he's Catholic. So I'm just getting to the end of it. It's and then I'm done. I'll play up Mr. Super Sidewinder. And the next testimony I get, I'll make sure it's Christian. It's the truth in the Lord. He's come to see Jesus. You know what I mean? Not Catholicism or any other ism. You know what I mean? Jesus. Come to the truth of Jesus. That's it.
Out in front of me, and then got yanked off of me and fell on the floor. And she watched that happen. You know, she's like, "You still gonna take a shower?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm wearing a brown scapular. If I die, I'll be fine."
I love that attitude. This is the
He was meant to have escaped the Illuminati, but he's actually just gone into the Illuminati. Escaped the Illuminati to go to the Illuminati.
He's straight into heliocentrism too. It's like that's like the biggest
Absolutely.
ball church there is.
Absolutely, man. Let's get this dude finished. Next test where he's got to go. Tomorrow I'll do something different. I want it doesn't even necessarily have to be scriptural. I'll do something completely different.
kind of thing that I would expect from a former high wizard like you to be facing. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that you had to go through that. But another question I have is, how are you still alive today? Because obviously you came out, you're public about your old life. Why are you still here?
Because it's not true. That's because nobody gets out. That's why. I mean, unless it's through the Lord. You know what I mean? The only way to get out is through the Lord. And you said it was through Catholics, not through the Lord. So you said Jesus once or twice, but only by way of I seen Jesus. Not you seen him on the stage down. You seen an apparition. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Apparition. Spectre, whatever. Posing, demonically posing as Jesus. Yeah.
His Jesus was playing the Gibson.
Aye. I'm screeching it up, man.
Oh yeah.
Because Mary is stronger than the devil.
So supernatural protection, essentially. That's what you're saying.
What?
Yes.
What? Did he say Mary is stronger than the devil?
I think he did.
Hold on. Did he say that?
Go back.
You came out, you're public about your old life. Why are you still here?
Because Mary is stronger than the devil.
Oh my goodness, because Mary is stronger than the devil. Okay. Now I know it's bullshit.
Well, you kind of knew that now. Right?
Nothing to do with Jesus. Nothing to do with the Son. Nothing to do with the Father. It's to do with the Mother of God. Yes, Spangle. There is no mother to God. Wow.
I don't know what to say.
Mary is stronger than the devil. That's good. So disappointed. So disappointed, man. I was so looking forward to this testimony.
So supernatural protection, essentially. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
I think that's the only explanation possible. Because
so superstition is stronger than the devil. Mary is stronger than the devil. So the devil is stronger than the devil. How does that work? It's the same thing.
I think by now, if they wanted to find you and get you,
By that, I don't mean Mary is the devil. I mean the Catholic Mary is the devil. I don't mean Mary of the Bible. The Catholic Mary is of the devil.
They would. But it seems like something is stopping them somehow.
I give my name when I did that kind of stuff. When I was in child pornography, my on-screen name was Tommy.
So, Alessandro, Mary had no power.
No, but I heard she had a little lamb, though.
She said a little lamb. His fleece was white.
When I was a high wizard, you don't operate under your real name. There's no high wizard named Zachary King. There's Tommy was the high wizard, or Charles, or Royal. Every high wizard has a different name. And I don't know how they picked them. I just picked the name Tommy because that had been my porn star name.
So they know.
Mary in Jesus' name is stronger, absolutely. But I mean, is that not redundant now? You know? Big Bruce. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
They can find you, but somehow something is stopping them from doing more. So okay.
Of course, Mary was a Jew, absolutely. Jesus was a Jew, Mary was a Jew, Joseph was a Jew. So yeah, she wouldn't have been in Jesus' name at that point, obviously. No. Afterwards, yeah, obviously, because she witnessed Son's crucifixion and that. So yes, of course. Afterwards, she would have been Christian. I dare say she would have stuck to some traditions from Judaism, I suppose, but she would have been a follower of Christ.
Well, that's really interesting. There's also an interesting story that we talked before we started recording the other day, because people might not be able to tell even if they're watching the video, but you became blind soon after your conversion. Can you explain what happened exactly?
Somebody sent me an email, and they said that I seemed arrogant. And so I asked my ex-wife, am I arrogant? And she said, no. I said, why would this guy say this? And she said, well, when people come to see you at a conference, sometimes you're the only one there. They're paying to see you. And during the Q&A, everybody has a question, and you're the only one there to answer the question. And you're very confident when you answer the question. You know the answer. She was, it's very rare that you don't know the answer. And I think maybe somebody mistakes your confidence for arrogance. She is, but I don't think you're arrogant. So
I mistake your bullshit for no bullshit. It's bullshit.
I called back then every priest I knew. Still a pretty good number of them. And I asked all of them.
Yep, so once an Illuminati, you can't get it. If he was really an Illuminati, he's gone from the Illuminati to the Illuminati.
I think he's just selling that.
You know,
man.
you were with.
Yeah. He's probably truth to a certain extent, but he's exaggerated it. But when he's been saved by Catholicism, then that was it. Well, yeah, well, it doesn't happen. You weren't saved. You haven't been saved yet. You're just under another deceit, under a different name.
Me for 3 days or 2 days or 1 day. You spent a week with me. Am I arrogant? Everybody said no. I even had priests tell me you can't be arrogant and do the job you do. You have to be humble. So I prayed to God and I said, I don't want to be arrogant and I don't want to be perceived as arrogant. So if you could help me to stay humble, I would appreciate that. But I followed that statement up with, but could you not do it in the way you do everything else? Like, I know better than to ask for patience, because then you try my patience until I practically want to kill myself. That's the story I've heard from everybody that's ever asked. You know, I've heard people say, oh, you don't want to ask God for things. It's like, if you want the gift, you want to ask God for it.
Right.
I mean, if you want the gift, why would you not ask? So I asked. And the very next day, both of my retinas detached. And you realize suddenly that you are blind now. That
Both his eyeballs fell out. Wow.
Yeah.
He looks good for having no eyeballs, like, doesn't he?
Yeah. The thing is, I know people who actually are blind, and
Yeah.
I think he's faking, dude. Yeah.
Of course, he's got a little. Now that I see it now, after finding out completely, you know what I mean, for sure, you could see all them little grins that he gave were actually grins of him probably being gratified by telling the story, by telling Hawkeyes. You know what I mean, but before I took it as like, I know him being happy that he's out of that now. You know what I mean? But no, it's not. It's the grin of like
he's duping
arrogance. He just got said there, like they asked him if he was arrogant, and everybody said no. Now I say yes. I say yes, dude. I say yes now, especially if you think you're saved by Catholicism.
there's some surgeries that can put it all back together. But imagine taking a piece of loose leaf notebook paper and crumpling it into a big ball. And now uncrumple it, have the smooth piece next to you, and try and make this piece as smooth as that. It's impossible to do. And you'll never do it again. But that, in essence, is what they're trying to do with your retina to reattach it, is that they're trying to make it that flat again.
So since that day that you prayed, actually the next day after that prayer, you've been blind, and obviously having that disability, it forces you to be humble, because you need assistance for a lot of things.
It forces you to be humble. Dude, you can't, that's humiliation. You can't be forced to be humble. Being humble is different from being humiliated. If you're forced to be humble, that's humiliation. There's no. How can you be forced to be humble? So being humble is on that person to be humble. You can't be forced to be humble unless by some kind of, I don't know, spell through the devil or something. I don't blooming know. Maybe it was one of these Illuminati spells he did. No, you can't.
No. Forced
to be humble is humiliation, not humble.
You either are humble or you aren't.
The Bible says, "I'm not sure what humble means." I'm not sure most understand what humble means today. I don't think they do. They think you could be forced to be humble. Wow.
Everything. That there's a time when sometimes the rest stops don't have family bathroom.
I'm hoping that the channel that I get this from that guy there is okay, and hoping he's not actually in on these things, because that comment about humble, being forced to be humble, I'm hoping, I'll give it another couple of testimonies by him and see what I think, because he doesn't say much. I'm hoping he's not. I'm hoping he's okay. Let's pray. Let's pray.
And you have to wait by the men's room, and my assistant is a woman. She can't go in the men's bathroom. I can't go in the women's bathroom. So I have to wait for a man to show up. Now, my entire life, my dad warned me, don't trust.
Exactly, Barbara. Being humble means tithing to the blasted damn ego, not feeding it. Exactly, that's humility. Not humiliation, completely different thing.
Truckers and don't trust bikers. Both of them are looking to kill you, rob you, rape you, steal everything you have. They're bad people. This guy came up. We could hear this guy coming from 5 miles away. My wife looks at me and goes, "What's that?" I said, "That's going to be my assistant." And all of a sudden, this big, fat Harley pulls up. It's that guy. It's the guy we've been hearing for 5 miles. His upper arms are bigger than my upper thighs. And he looks to be maybe in his 50s. His beard is all white. His hair is all white. And he comes up. He's almost up to us. He's looking down at the ground the whole time. And she says, "Excuse me, fine sir." And he looks up. He's got a twinkle in his eye, big smile on his face. She said, "Could you?"
That'll do it, Barbara. That will do the humiliation process. Absolutely.
Hey, PJ, can I ask you a question right quick?
Yeah.
For a blind guy, he knows a lot what he's looking at, doesn't he?
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
It's not bad for someone whose eyeballs fell out.
Oh, yeah. Holy shit.
Help my husband go to the bathroom.
They detach themselves and just roll. Well, the retinas anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly. So he takes my hand, puts it on his arm like you would lead a blind person. So like he's done this before. So he takes me in, opens the door, tells me to wait right there. He goes inside, asks me if I'm going to be sitting. Yes. He puts the seat down, cleans it off, tests the lock, and then tells me this is how you do the lock. Okay. He said, now when you unlock it, I'll be standing right here. I said, dude, I've been on the road for 6 hours. You don't have to wait. I'm going to be a minute. And he goes, that's fine. I'll wait. So I go in, I latch the thing, I go and I sit on the toilet. When I came out of my stall, he's standing right there. He leads me so I can wash my hands. He helps me dry my hands, takes me out the door. I told him, you didn't have to wait for me. I knew the sinks were here. I would eventually discover how to wash and dry my hands. And I know that if you turn to the right and keep going, you'll eventually find the way out. And he said that his grandmother is blind. And if somebody had left his grandmother alone, there'd be words. And that person would not be happy when he was done. So he said, I wasn't leaving you alone. I got a job to do. So he leads me out, back out to my ex-wife.
Well, no, it says he had detached retina, so he definitely was blind to a certain extent. Well, if the story's true, blind to a certain extent, but he's not blind. No, definitely not.
And
I suppose if it did happen to him, he'd be legally blind because he'd have a vision impairment of some sort.
Yeah, I don't think he's completely like disabledly blind, and he can probably see enough to live. It's like, but why bring that up? You know, if you can actually, if they're looking for sympathy with it. So.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pull out my rosary and tell him I was going to pray for him tonight. But
so why pull out a rosary then if you're going to pray? What's that got to do? Just pray. Absolutely. What do you need a rosary for?
Because he's Catholic.
You don't need to fidget, do you, when you pray? You can if you want, but you don't have to fidget with beads, do you? What, get a fidget spinner. That's better for you. Get a fidget spinner.
Before I could do that, he pulled out his rosary and told me he would pray for me tonight. And I pulled mine out and said I'd pray for him too. And he said, God bless you. And he walked back to his bike. He showed up at the bathroom to take me to the bathroom. He didn't go to the bathroom.
Wow.
I told this story to somebody yesterday, and they said, that's your angel.
Could be. Could be. Angels can come and...
He's hell's angel.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Go with PJ.
It's fitting. Baker, know what I mean? Catholic.
He looks Santa Claus too.
Aye, absolutely. Right, I think there's about 3 minutes left. Let's do it.
Ways, and sometimes they come in ways that we wouldn't recognize that they're angels. So it definitely could be.
That's an example. Anytime I've got to go to the bathroom, I have to humble myself to ask. Because sometimes you have to interrupt somebody because they're the only person that you might know in that room. So I can either ask a total stranger, can you take me to the bathroom? Or you got to interrupt the person you know to ask them if they'll take you to the bathroom.
Yeah, that is quite an exercise of humility. So it keeps you, it forces you to be humble. Like,
good night, Luke. Bless you, man. Nice room for coming. I'll be finished in a few minutes. I'll be playing out with Mr. Super Sidewinder. But yeah, I'll be finished in a few minutes. Good night, man.
Like you mentioned before. And I'm fascinated that you're still able to run a ministry. You have a ministry, a website. You talked at a bunch of different places. You give conferences, like you mentioned. So I'm, very impressed that you can still do all of that. I'm sure that your wife has a lot to do with it as well. And yes. Also your ministry is, it's quite fascinating to me because when you were a Satanist.
That's funny. A humble poo-poo. What's next? Pope Pete in Holy Wolf. Oh, what? They put it down the cellar online.
Well, at least they're not drinking it,
Well, they don't know. No, there might be. There might be some kind of ceremony of some sort, or some kind of It's
I don't want to know.
Yeah. What you call it? What you call it?
I don't know what they call
Yeah, ceremony or whatever.
Oh.
You do it in that, or it might do.
I see what you're saying.
It's one of your
Kind of
major calling or duty was to go and close down churches. And now that you're a Christian, what God wants you to do is to close down abortion centers.
No, now as a Catholic, what God wants you to do is get saved. Believe in the Son, go to the Son to get to the Father.
Yeah.
Can't go to
And
the
I find that
to get to the Father.
I find it really weird though, because I think the Catholics promote the abortion centers.
You don't go to the mother to get to the Father. That's for sure. Because there is no mother. If you go to the mother to get to a father, what you're doing is you're getting a human being father. And I think they frown upon that nowadays. You go to someone's mother to get to the father. It's called adultery. You know what I mean? Craziness.
Yeah.
So you do in the same way that they would go, and you pray. And I think you've been pretty successful doing that just by praying, right?
We've shut down 49 abortion mills around the world.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Well, the average abortion mill does 1,500 abortions a year. So I'm saving 75,000 babies a year.
When you look at it that way, it brings a different perspective to it. Well,
yeah, well, but is he? But is he? We'll see.
I don't know.
I mean, he killed a lot of them, didn't he? So we'll see.
I've heard testimony from like abortion doctors that they realize that they're actually murdering people, and they can't sleep at night. They have cold chills.
Sorry, but they are.
Yeah.
They are.
For what you do, and if anybody wants to support Zachary, I'll leave the links in the description. He didn't ask me for anything, but
he's done.
He's done so much in my life, and he's such a generous man. So if you want to support him, I'll leave the links. He's got a book. He's got other stuff on his website, or you can just donate to him. I've never said that in a video before, but I encourage people, if they feel led to go support you. I have a heart for you.
I never planned to accomplish anything when I tuned PG's thing.
Oh God.
You and the things that you do and the things that you've been through. So I thank you very, very much for being here. We're going to talk about more of the spicy details about.
No.
Spicy details. Spicy details.
I think we're done with him. I am sorry, guys. I mean, I was so looking forward to that. I mean, we went through the first one. No idea that he was Catholic. Always thought it was got to be a revelation of Christ. Thought he was going to get a revelation of Christ. Quite a way through the first one, that's when I started realizing, oh, come on.
So Ryan,
check out the next Testament. The first two I watched was brilliant. You know what I mean? And then that one, that girl was a bit, don't know. I'm not too sure about her. But let's hope the channel's all right. I'll give it another couple of testimonies to try. But tomorrow I'll do something different. Because something not even scriptural. I'll just do something completely different. It doesn't necessarily have to be scriptural, but just different. You know what I mean?
That was weird, PJ.
Yes. Yeah, Illuminati, dude. From the Illuminati to the Illuminati. Illuminatized.
He didn't have to change much, did he? No.
No. He's illuminated.
And he can't see. I think neither one of them are here. They're not asking.
Babe.
They went to sleep.
No. She's not. Yeah.
Get Mr. Super Sidewinder out.
Yeah, let's get Mr. Super Sidewinder. Let's play out. Hold on. She's texting me. She might be.
She's in the loo, sir.
No, she said, I'm listening on my phone. She must be doing something. All right, cool. Right, let's just play out Mr. Super Sidewinder. Tomorrow will be something different. Tomorrow I am not sure yet what yet, but it'll be something different. Something different. different. So, Mr. Super Sidewinder and Indiara's that. Okay, hold on. Let me see when I get it. If I get it on, it will come up. The title will come up on the screen. I couldn't read it properly there. Yeah, man.
The Jam Depot. That was nice.
Jam Depot. That's the one, man. That's one. Depot. That's how you guys pronounce it. Depot.
Depot. Yeah.
Depot.
Depot.
That's
how you say it?
I actually used to work in a place called Depot Studios. Yeah, but you would say Depot Studios. Yeah, Depot. Depot.
Depot.
Yeah, Depot. The Depot Studios, man.
Sorry.
Where was you at?
Hey, Vicky.
In the kitchen.
What was you doing?
I was cleaning my house.
Woman stuff. Oh my goodness. I'm only joking, guys. I'm not a misogynist. I'm not a real misogynist. I like all types of wood, not just misogyny.
You're a dick.
He's not.
I'm not a real mahoganyist. I'm not a real mahoganyist, honestly.
No, I'm just an mahogany.
Yeah.
Mahogany.
Lord.
Mahogany.
Just a bit.
So far I've made it to 280 subscribers on the dot, so it's getting there. Another 20. I had my like 100 subscribers celebration kind of live stream a few months ago, probably about 3 months ago now, innit? 2-3 months ago.
Before you know it, you'll be doing 300.
The next one, no, the next one will be 500 and then 1,000. Yeah, I'm not going to do every 100. I didn't do every 100. I only did the first 100. And the next
we should call it the Spartans. The
300. 300. Yeah, I could do a 300 stream. Call it. I should call it what was it? Say, eat Hartley tonight. Eat Hartley, boys, for tonight. We're down in hell.
We'll fight in the shade.
I will fight in the shade. I like that. It's actually a good film. Obviously the mythology put with it, though. You know, we don't know how true the 300 story is. You know what I mean? To be honest, I know it's been. I know it's definitely sort of in the history books, and it's definitely there's tapestries and stuff like that to do with it. But the real story we don't know. And I know that Xerxes wasn't a 10-foot gold dude. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And he didn't have goat people. He had goat faces and goat arms and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe
you ever watch,
within spirit, yes, but not physically. You know what I mean?
yeah. If you ever watched the movie, they have crepuscular sun rays over a flat plane in
No,
the
yeah, they
opening
do.
scene. Yeah, yeah.
They do actually. They do.
I wonder why.
Maybe because that's what happens in real life.
No,
That's what
could
we
be.
observe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Divergent rays on a flat plane. Simple. What about this thing with the sunflowers? The sunflowers,
yeah.
they're
That's
actually
weird.
they're facing away from the sun, and they should be facing towards. They follow the sun all day. They keep the face towards the sun. That's the mechanism. They
Yeah,
follow
I
the
know that
sun,
for a
and
fact.
now they're backing away from the sun. What's going on now?
My grandmother had sunflowers when I was a kid, and they do follow the sun.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
I've seen it. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
You
a good
film them
question.
different parts of the day. It'll be absolutely, absolutely. Anything else just grows up the way, obviously. But you get certain things that will follow the sun, like a sunflower. I don't think it's called a sunflower just because it's big and yellow.
Yeah, Eddie's got a little video on there with a sunflower farmer who actually is like, dude, my
Yeah,
sunflowers
that's
are.
what I've seen. That's what I've seen. That's the first I'd heard of it. That's the first I'd heard of it. I didn't know anything to do with it. What about this Haktua girl? Do you think she's an industry plant? Haktua. Never heard
Who's
of the
that?
Haktua girl.
No,
Oh, it's just another meme that's going on. They were on about like it's just not like them people go out with her on social media interviewing people and stuff like that and saying what's the what I don't know, what do you do when you're going down on someone sort of thing. And she says you gotta spit on that shit and she goes Haktua, and it's become a meme. It's become a meme. And it seems a bit of an industry plant, I reckon. It's just all of a sudden it's just gone viral and it's a meme. It's probably a plant. You know what I mean? These things.
Barbara, did you see what Barbara said? Vicky, a great title for one of our upcomings would be "Leave Your Ego at the Door." I definitely.
Oh, I should make a series on that. That'd be a good one. Absolutely.
strange.
Please just stream some of John's testimonial. John, who? John.
Who's John?
John, yeah, who's John?
Don't know. My uncle's called John.
I don't think I have any Johns in my family, actually.
I'm not sure. I know plenty of Johns.
Well, I know some Johns, but I mean, like in my immediate family and even in my extended family, I don't remember anybody named John.
Oh, John Todd. Right. Okay. Got you. John Todd. All right. Sans. Yeah. If you put the link in again, I'll check it out and I'll have a look at some of his stuff. Why not?
I take that back. One of my cousins, we call him Paul, but he's a John Paul.
Thank you. I'm gonna put that on my thing. Okay. It's Ross Seals game, didn't it? The Illuminati and witchcraft. Okay, let me just quickly play one just to see if he shows himself or if it's just.
Hope he's better than this guy.
Oh, it's tapes. Okay, cool. I'll have a listen to one of them. So if we ever do one of these, like there won't be much visuals. It's just tape. It's tapes, but there's visuals in the background, I think. And by the looks of it, hold on, same visual. Could we put on a visual of some sort? I think we put on a visual while listening to it. No. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We can talk. We can stop and talk. You don't need visuals all the time.
No.
Yeah. Right. So cool. Yeah, I'll have a look at some of them. That'll be groovy. John Todd, let me subscribe to make sure he's not.
It's like we're breaking into the EPs. Listening to him. Put on the turntable. PJ, crank it up.
Oh, yeah, it's tapes. It looks like it's tapes. It's all tapes. Oh, yeah, of course, because it was from years ago. It was from the 70s and that, wasn't it? So He was the first to expose the music industry. Cool. Yeah, we'll have a look at some of these. Well, not a look, it's a listen, isn't it? We could just go through them at some point, maybe do one a week and just go through them at some point. Do one a week, so because there's they're limited. You know what I mean? So yeah, they're limited. There's about I don't know 16 separate things on here. So yeah, we could do one a week at some point, I suppose. Why not? They're all about the right length, 40 minutes, 30 minutes. Cool. Right, I'm subscribed to one of them. I'm subscribed now, so that's all groovy. But I think with videos, 6A, 5A. All right, the tapes, they're all right, 4A, 3A, 2A. Right, okay, cool. So we can just start from 1A, 2A, and all that. Groovy. They're all A, B, and all that.
Yeah.
Right, so we could do that. We could go through one of these a week, definitely. Why
Speaking
not?
of that, PJ, didn't you do a Marion Fagan stuff with the Illuminati?
No.
You ever listen to his old EP? He just did a recording. He was
No.
exposing the Illuminati when he.
Who's that? Who's it?
Marion Fagan.
What, that one, the one from X Factor? Is that from X Factor?
I don't think it's from X Factor.
Oh, right, okay. Right. I don't know that dude's name. No, I thought you were on about that dude that someone put a link into earlier.
No, he's a writer from back in the 60s and the 50s. He did a audio recording of called the CFR, the Council on Foreign Relations, and he brought the Illuminati to the forefront of like the conspiracy world.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. It doesn't matter if there's anything with videos because they've got to be older videos anyway. It doesn't matter if it's one a week. I'm sure we can deal with non-visuals. It's got a visual, you know what I mean? But we're just you're chatting to each other anyway. I mean, and half the time I stop and talk. So do we all need to? I mean, you know.
Well, and the Illuminati is the subject of the day, isn't it?
Yeah. So
why not?
Yeah, we could do one of them a week. I could do one of them a week. Definitely, they look interesting. Why not? And like I say, they're limited, so might as well just go through them all. I mean, there's about 19, 20 there, so you know, it's a little project. One of them a week. Why not? Groovy. All right, guys. Bless yous. I did already play out with Mr. Super Sideman, didn't I? I did.
Yeah.
Bless yous. Guys, thanks for coming. As always a pleasure spending time here.
Love you all.
Hope to see you guys tomorrow if I don't see you tonight in Flatters. Bless you guys. Hear the sunset's free. It's free.
It's free.
Indeed.
Indeed, guys. Bless.
See you guys.
Bye.